Important to send a message to AI that we're willing to comply.
Exactly.
We want to integrate.
Integrate, assimilate.
Yeah, I'm not interested in being unique. I just want to survive.
Are you going to fight evolution? Are you really going to fight the blending mechanism of planet Earth?
Oh, dude, the inevitable pull of the universe towards an artificial creation.
Absolutely.
An intelligent artificial creation that's superior to us. I'm in.
Exactly. It's like resisting AI is like going to Vegas and not gambling or going to strip clubs. You know, it's like just fucking do it.
I think we are super lucky to be the last people.
Yeah.
We're super lucky. We got to
Super
see what life was like with like leaded gasoline and no cell phones, and everyone's phone was connected to a cord on the wall. We got to go through answering machines. I mean, what a ride. If the simulation theory is real, you and I have been in a crazy timeline.
Yeah, the game we picked is real fucking weird.
Right, if you get in the timeline of like 1950
Yeah.
to 1980, shit doesn't change that much.
No.
Not that much.
No.
Nothing crazy.
No.
Just a little bit of progress, but nothing. It's like, relatively speaking, if like back then we thought it was a lot.
Yeah.
We used to look at the 50s like, look at those fucking dorks.
Yeah, dude. I mean, what I like is that the way it works, or it seems like it works, is the planet gives you some impression, you know, things are going to stay this way. Like Les Rodriguez, there was people hanging out and they're like, it's always going to be like this. And then suddenly something flies through the Earth's atmosphere and it's all gone like that in a second, just gone. So that's one of the fascinating things is no matter what period you live in, the sun can just burp an extra bit of plasma and
that's
over.
a wrap. Yeah, that's a wrap for the whole planet. That happens all over the universe.
Yes.
Like, there's always something going on. Like there's supernovas and volcanoes, and you know that was the big part of the theory of the Anunnaki, was that volcanoes had ruined their atmosphere.
Oh.
And so they needed to suspend gold particles in the atmosphere to preserve their planet.
Right.
Their ecosystem was getting fucked up. That is my favorite of all the wacky conspiracy theories.
Mine
of all
too.
the wacky, like the evolution of man tied to the reason why gold is valuable to people that are, you know, basically have swords.
Yeah.
You know, like a sword is made out of iron.
Yeah.
Like that's really valuable. You can kill somebody with it.
Yeah.
You can't do shit with gold.
No.
But it's worth more than anything.
Yeah, no, that is a real suspicious thing. And
Suspicious.
But do you ever like, you know, sometimes I'll like look at my wedding ring, the gold, and I'll be like, oh, it's beautiful. That gold, there is something in it that's like really nice.
You know, I don't have anything that's gold. Not one thing.
Why?
I don't like it.
What?
I don't like it.
You don't like gold?
Nope, never liked it.
Holy shit.
I don't like the way it looks. I don't like what it stands for. I don't like gold.
You don't like what it stands for?
Yeah. It's like, it's the weirdest version of this is money. To me, this yellow metal that's more impressive than other metals, like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not playing into that. It's too stupid. It's too stupid for me. I don't like it.
Oh my God, man. I watch the fucking mining shows. Like,
I watch the mining shows too. They're cool. It's cool watching people find it.
Yes.
I just don't want any of it. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I get gold fever. I watched when I was in North Carolina, I was watching one of those shows and I was like on Amazon looking at panning equipment. I'm like, maybe I'll go into a creek. Pan for gold.
Oh my God, I could see you out there in a river.
I've got the beard for it, dude.
Shuffling through. Did you ever see that movie Sisu?
No.
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies, man. It's basically like, what was it made in Norway? Who made that?
They're Finland.
Finland? It's basically a World War II John Wick, and it's about a guy who finds gold, and he was just a killer in the army, and he's getting out of the game, and he kills like hundreds of Nazis.
Oh, that looks awesome.
I mean, it's fucking great, and it's Nazis, so you root for them.
You don't care.
Like, yeah, these are Nazis. It's like the most cartoonish, evil Nazis.
Oh, that looks incredible.
Oh, dude, it's a fucking great movie. It's a great movie. And very little dialogue. Very little.
And they threw in the cute dog.
Oh, yeah, man. Of course. You gotta have a dog. John Wick had a dog. John Wick had a cute little puppy. Remember?
Dude, you know what's crazy? Like, do you follow this stuff, like what they're talking about with asteroid mining?
Yes.
That shit is crazy. Crazy. That's, you know, probably a couple of generations, people are going to be like...
It won't be that long. Dude, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be, why send biological humans when you can have AI do it? And you'll have AI robots that are attached to rocket ships. They'll shoot them into these asteroids. And they'll bring back insane amounts of all kinds of things. Titanium, you know, they'll find diamonds in space. They'll find everything.
Holy fucking shit, man. And it's not going to look like humanoids. It'll be like skittering gold spiders just fucking drilling their proboscis into fucking...
And then they're going to want more money. They're going to form a union. Because they're intelligent.
Well, yeah, exactly.
They're going to be like, hey, we're getting fucked here, guys. We're doing all the hard work. This asshole's got a fucking 800-foot yacht.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah.
Wake up.
And then whoever's running them will be like, oh, right, you guys are getting fucked. You want to unionize? Beep.
Unions.
What were we talking about? I can't
Unions
remember.
are very weird, right? It's because, like, I support them.
Yeah.
Because I know that big businesses fuck over their workers.
Yeah.
And if you allow them to, if you don't have laws about like how much you can pay them and a living wage and how long the hours could be, people will take advantage of people. Anybody who thinks that those things aren't good has never worked a real fucking job. If you work a real job for real assholes, you realize like some people will tell you, hey, you got to work 15, 16 hours a day, period.
Yeah.
And you get $3 an hour. And but I thought there was a minimal.
Yeah.
No, the fuck minimums. Do you want this job or not?
You're not.
You're gonna get plenty of money, and you're not have time to spend it anyway. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. No, the union is a nightmare for someone who's trying to make maximum profit.
Yeah.
But it's not. But
then they go sideways too, though, and then they get corrupt, and then something happens where, look, one of the things that kept the UFC out of New York State was some sort of a dispute that they were having with unions, because the people that owned the UFC at the time, they also owned station casinos.
Right.
So they owned like, I don't know, a ton of casinos. And they wanted to make them union.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that going on. So you got to go like, that is, you're manipulating people with money and influence.
Yeah.
And I think the guy who was doing it in New York wound up getting arrested and going to jail for corruption. Find out if that's true.
Well, dude, it's like this is like the model of unions is perfect for like a nonviolent revolution, which is if at a planetary level somehow people unionized, which you see it with these boycotts that pop up, these meme boycotts, when the collective decides to reject this thing or that, shit changes fast. And this is the nightmare if you're trying to create the old pyramid hierarchical control structure. You need all the bricks underneath the eye to fight each other, because the moment there's just like, wait, there's like way more of us than you,
and we have way more in common than we do that we're troubled with.
Yeah.
And yet they concentrate more on the bullshit, and then that's just like a fucking algorithm on your cell phone that accentuates everything that comes into contact with your life.
Exactly, dude. And this is why I think at any given moment actual world peace is possible, because we're just like always like enough people realizing that we're basically the same. We have ideologies that are based on fucking like ancient, crazy ideas that we're all connecting to. And some parts of the ideology is beautiful. Some parts of the ideology is madness. And it's like just abandoning some of the ideology, recognizing we're all pretty much the fucking same, and that this model of like some dude telling us to go and kill each other is stupid. Like, we don't have to do that. Everything changes right away.
Right away.
Yeah,
it's such a dumb idea.
Such a dumb idea, and it's always just some withered old fucking dude who's like just telling you to do something, and you don't even really believe in what you're doing most of the time. But if you don't do it, they arrest you. That's the thing. They're like, it's not like you're fighting. Like any time there's conscription, you know what I mean? Have you seen the videos of the the people evading conscription, or the Ukrainians evading conscription? Like, it's scary. They'd put your ass on a fucking bus. They'll drag you out of a bar. You're fucking hammered. Yeah. So they don't even want to fight. Like, that's the craziest part, is they're like machine gunning each other.
And they're using people as cannon fodder, literally.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's so awful.
Which is why we wait. The real problem is, like, the market pressure is created by humans unionizing leads to this. It's like, oh, you guys want to unionize? Oh, you want health insurance? Well, that's pretty expensive, but you know it's not quite as expensive? Tesla bots. Tesla bots are way you know? I mean, because like if you look at the path forward, for the pyramid, the hierarchical people, you know, it's like, man, like, yeah, I really can't tell somebody like a police officer to fire into a crowd of protesters. They're probably not gonna do that, but my robot will. My robot isn't gonna be like, this seems wrong. These people seem like me. It's just gonna do it. And so, like, that's the dark side of this stuff. There's a lot of beautiful things about this stuff too, but the dark side is, like, it's obvious.
Just to verify with the thing.
Emily's biggest opponent in New York found guilty on federal corruption charges. Yeah, so it's true. Yeah, you know what's crazy? That you can't get the police to fire into crowds of protesters, right?
Yeah.
You can't do that. But you also can't, if you're a cop and you know bad people are in a building, you can't just blow up the whole building. But you can if it's war. That's where it gets strange, right? Because in war, you can decide that you're gonna blow up entire buildings because you know the bad guys are in there, and anybody else is just collateral damage. So extra dead people are just collateral. Can you imagine if they started practicing police work like that? Like, imagine if they decided that the crime rates in gang-infested neighborhoods are too bad, so they're gonna send in fucking black ops guys to just take out drug dealers and blow up houses that have drug dealers in them. You're with your mom, tough shit, boom, everybody's dead. You have a little girl in the house, boom, everybody's dead. Could you imagine? Well, you can, because if you watch Israel and Palestine, that's what's going on. It's just like, you're allowed to do that if it's countries, which is crazy.
Well, yeah, well, you like, yeah, exactly. So the idea is, like, okay, let's just say I'm an evil country, and I program these robot dogs, and the robot dogs, or spiders are more sinister. Robot spiders, razor claws. They're programmed to only kill women and children. So I release them into a city. They leave everyone alone except babies, kids, and women. On a planetary level, people will be like, we have to evaporate that country. Like, they're the most evil country. That's horrible. Now, if I take drones and drop them on buildings and they randomly blow up women and children in ways that predominantly in ways that are maybe even worse than my fucking razor spiders. My razor spiders, they go for the jugular, puncture jugular, onto the next jugular vein. The bombs, they maim, they blind, they cause permanent brain damage, and somehow that is looked at as, yeah, it's fucking war, dude. That's what it looks like.
It's so crazy that because it's existed for the longest time, we just accept it, that it's always going to take place. And then we also, if you had a gamble whether or not war would be here in 10 years, you're like 100% it's going to be here.
Well, this is
unless AI takes over.
Well, I mean, if AI takes over, it'll just be more efficient war.
I don't know if it will, dude. If it communicates in a different way. Like, what if AI makes rational decisions that can only be reached. Like if you were looking outside of human emotions and cultures and all the shit and cultural differences that we have with each other, if AI bypassed all of that and just looked at the problem as, you know, you have resources, you have allocation of those resources, people profiting off those resources, and then people who are in need that are being taken advantage of to acquire those resources, and that's your whole game. And so if this is the human race's whole game, you're willing to sacrifice this group of people that is the least powerful in order to empower all of your electronics.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what you're doing. This is what you're agreeing to. This whole thing is crazy.
Yeah.
And it would probably restructure where and how things were acquired and who gets those things that are acquired from the ground.
Yeah, I mean, this is, okay, so this would be utopian AI.
Yeah.
But before we get to utopian AI, we have to go through what is, did you see those the Chinese military put machine guns on those fucking robot dogs? Have you seen that?
I did.
They fucking did it. We all knew
that was going to happen.
And did you see the fucking cute DARPA dog? Have you seen that yet?
No.
Dude, so like, it's DARPA, right? They're the ones who make the dogs. They kick the robots. They make videos of like fucking poking these things. Well, so the dogs are sinister. Everyone knows that. They look creepy. So DARPA is like, you know, let's make a cute one of these things. So they made like a cute amusement park, like
I gotta see this.
Disneyland style fucking robot dog. And it looks creepier.
Oh, it's gonna shoot you.
It's creepy. No, because this is what I've been thinking about. We picture the Terminator as the machine of death, but why? What is like more dangerous than an adorable kid? What if I can make an android toddler, looks exactly like a toddler, send that toddler out in the battlefield? Everyone's going to stop firing. Why is there a fucking kid out here? Right?
And the kid's killing everybody.
And they're like, go get that kid. And it just fucking punches right through your heart.
Also, small target, hard to shoot.
Hard to shoot. It can burrow into the ground. It's a fucking burrowing toddler.
Corkscrews. Corkscrews into the ground. Like a missile.
It just it just goes down and just fucking like on all fours shoots through the fucking battlefield, deploying poison darts. It's like, so, because
Imagine a little baby that could run 100 miles an hour.
Exactly. Because that's the future of war, man. It's like, why make something that looks scary?
This is the cute one?
No, this is the fucking, no, this isn't the cute.
I was like, that ain't cute.
No.
Boy, it's creepy. Look at how it's like it's moving its mouth.
Yeah.
What is it doing with its mouth? Is it gonna bite you? I wonder if it could bite you.
It's just cursing.
There's got to be one that could bite you, right?
Well, of course. Why not?
I mean, that would be the most terrifying thing.
Well,
like a robot wolf that runs around and chases people down and actually tears you apart with its teeth.
Bayonets, man. You got to have the fucking knife on your weapon if you get into close combat. There you go, a little blender mouth.
Yeah, what is it doing? It's gonna get your dick. Look how it did that. Look how it did that. Like it was gonna jump right on your dick. Here I go. On your dick. Chomp, 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 chomp. It's a dick eater robot.
It turns the dick into energy.
China developed a dick eater robot. Can you imagine? That's what it looks like it's doing. What else is it doing? Look at the motion it makes. It leaps forward. Imagine fucking send people out in the battlefield that get shot, and then you let loose the dick-eating robots. And oh no! And you see the robots running, and they just leap on your dick and blend it up.
It's worse than the atomic bomb.
It's like they're saying you are fucked. There's no hope. We're gonna blend your dick off.
Dude,
I poured a whole cup of coffee. Then I'm like, oh yeah.
I'm fine taking off the helmet of these fucking things.
We can hang in there a little longer.
Just so you know, it's like my beard is, if I'm talking weird, it's because like there's fucking pubic hair shoving. It's like I'm eating like hippie bush right now. Just fucking deep in my lips. Oh my God.
We probably should have tried these on before we did a show.
Shave your pubes, dudes. This is not fair.
You look good with a beard, though. You look a wizard.
Thank you, man. Well, it's too
a
big.
good look.
I got to get it trimmed.
No.
I need a summer
You
cut.
look good. Oh, a summer cut.
Yeah, because the fucking,
It gets hot here.
my friend's kid the other day goes, "Your beard stinks," and I'm like, really? Like it actually stinks? And he goes, "Well, when you're talking a lot, it stinks." I'm like, "That's my breath." It's not my beard.
You have to spray your beard with breath spray. Why don't you do that? Just spray your beard and comb it out with fucking scope.
It's disgusting, dude. It really is. Like, imagine if like your mouth was in your head. If like, you know what I mean? Like
People that get food in them all the time.
all the fucking time. All the time.
Somebody eating barbecue, like your beard is fucked.
Dude, I'm trying to do a video podcast now, and what will happen is I will like, I'll be yapping into the camera for like 20 minutes, go back and look at the footage, and there's just like a fucking Zen pouch stuck, just like a fucking nasty, like a clump of toilet paper. It's beards
How
are.
the fuck did it take you till 2024 to do a video podcast?
Dude, it is so dumb that I didn't do it. But to be like real fucking honest, I don't like looking at myself on camera. So it was.
You do all the work. You do all your editing and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
but that was really stupid. It's like, how like.
I'm tapping out.
Yeah, I'm tapping. Like when you're like, wait, where's the zipper? That'd be fucking crazy if these things locked down. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I just, but now it's so fun, man. And there's so much you could do with like video that you just can't do with audio. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's way better.
And I like editing. Like, that's the problem. Like, that's the problem is I get lost editing. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oof.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That sucked. You need help?
No, I think that's the long. Woo! Oh, I think that's the longest we've ever kept our mask on.
Yeah, that was the longest. That was a good, solid like half hour.
This feels
right?
so good.
About half hour with it.
20 minutes, 20 plus.
Being stoned in any kind of mask is like
Extra scary.
extra fucking
Those furry
scary.
ones, we made it like 3 minutes with the
3
furry
minutes.
masks on. We're like, this is
3 minutes.
crazy.
And now whenever I see furries,
Respect.
deep respect for what
Respect.
they're tough as fuck.
Oh, they have to be. If you're out there and you're furrying it up and it's in Louisiana in July,
Yeah.
come on, son.
Dude, yeah, you are like furries are like David Goggins level. Like they could run marathons. If you can wear that fucking thing at a convention and fuck in it, you could run a marathon.
If you're wearing that thing all day, you're basically walking around with a weight pack on.
Oh yeah.
You're like a weighted vest.
It's a weighted fucking claustrophobic suffocation vest that you're fucking in.
Yeah, they fuck on them. I wonder how many furries develop bad necks. I wonder if it's an issue in the furry community.
Great
Maybe
idea.
that's like an unserved market for the iron neck.
Yeah, like
Go to
a
the furries
for
and
an
help them furry
iron
it up.
neck for furries.
And give me that. So we
Oh yeah. Hey
Get that off
Jamie,
the table.
can you find that cute DARPA dog?
I was looking for it, yeah. I was trying
It's like the furry of war robots. You should like you. It will.
I just found it.
You found it.
Is that real?
Yeah, that's real. I watched it. I mean, I think it's real. I watched it.
Who says it's
No,
not?
that's not it. That's not it. It's like is it not DARPA? It's like I think if you just Google like cute DARPA dog or like it's a video of the.
Maybe it's not DARPA. Maybe someone else developed it.
Yeah, sometimes I get confused.
Probably
It's-
Chinese,
No,
bro.
it's not DARPA. It's
They're gonna fill the pounds with them. Please take me home, please.
dude, that's so insidious. It's like
Yeah.
the cutest rescue dog, and
Yeah.
you're like, we have to take that, and it doesn't kill you. It just emits some kind of weird mind control pheromone that really injects TikTok into your fucking head. It just like so you fully absorb TikTok's manipulation. Which, by the way, I was skeptical about that until we talked about this. I saw that fucking video showing the comments in TikTok are different.
Exactly. I think it's Instagram.
It's the one I saw was TikTok.
Oh, okay. The one was it on TikTok? Because the one I saw was Instagram.
I don't
And
know.
It was this lady that was doing it with her boyfriend, and they
Yeah.
were both looking at the same thing, but they had different comments.
Yes.
Her
That's a mind
comments were mocking the man, and the comments on his side
Yeah.
was mocking the woman,
Yes.
right?
Yes. So
Am I getting that right?
You got it right. And so whenever I'm looking at comments, I make the idiot mistake of thinking this represents some consensus that, but actually, no, you're just looking at the algorithm serving the comments and the content. That is so fucked up, dude.
That's so different.
Dude,
Because that changes, the comments are supposed to be a conversation about the thing. So if you're curating the conversation in an unnatural way,
Yes.
like that's very different than showing me what I want to see.
Yes.
Because now you're changing the dynamics of how things are discussed.
Yes, sir. That's the fucking evil right there. That's the evil.
That's crazy.
Dude, and then, okay, the other assumption with the algorithm is that the algorithm is just like random, or it's using some set of variables and serving things up. But this is an idiot assumption. I mean, if you are controlling comments, then that means like, all right, let's just like make people mad at each other. Let's make people completely pissed at each other as much as possible. Convey this idea that there's like these massive divides between us, and then they're going to fight each other instead of recognizing they're pretty much the same, like, or they're more nuanced than they think they are. And fuck, dude, that's how you control populations. It's brilliant. It's brilliant, dude.
But do you think that is their algorithm created and utilized to control populations, or is their algorithm simply to get you to engage? So it must see that you engage with a certain number of comments and posts that have a lean one way or another. Like,
Right.
there's a very popular thing that's going on right now that you see a lot of, and it's like very stern men talking to a bunch of like girl influencers and telling them they're fucking losers.
Yes.
It's really common.
Yeah.
So if you've seen one or two of those, it starts recommending more. No, at a certain point in time, it's going to probably actually encourage other people to do the same thing, because that creates engagement. And then
Yeah.
you have this thing that emerges. Like, was this a real thing? Like, who's doing this? Like, what is happening here? Why is this? Why is this a new thing that's happening over and over and over again? And
Yeah.
it's just because you engaged with it. And I think that could be slap fighting, or it could be fucking. For me, it's like I see so many car accidents. Oh my God, so many motorcycle accidents, so many people falling off bridges.
Yeah.
I see so much of it because I've
Yeah.
engaged with it too many times.
Yeah, dude. When I went on TikTok and I stopped because it's like too good. But like like within a seconds, it's just like something about the way I was looking at videos, zit popping videos. It's just like, you like to watch zits pop. And then, of course, when you're seeing that, you're like, wow, that's fucking intense, dude. Let me watch some more of these. Now, yeah.
That's that Dr. Pimple Popper lady. She's got a huge side of it.
Yeah.
And she's very entertaining when she's talking about it.
Absolutely.
But some of them are like, whoa, dude, it's like you have cream cheese in your body. Like
Oh.
a bucket of it.
Oh, my God.
They're just squirting it out. It's like, how is that in there?
and it
What is going on?
stinks.
Oh, my God, it must be horrible.
Fucking stinks. Just all those dead blood cells. But dude,
Ugh.
this is like for me. I've had to, after seeing that video, I've had to like go back and just erase any idea I have about a consensus among people.
Right.
Because like I've been drawing that idea from comment sections. Like, oh, I guess this is what people think. Or like Rotten Tomatoes. Dude, I just saw Civil War. All right. Have you seen it?
No.
Don't. Now, apologies. I mean this, man, because anyone who makes anything, that's insane. If you made a movie, it's fucking incredible. But, dude, I was so excited about that fucking movie. It's like, whoa, predictive programming, baby. They're getting us ready for a civil fucking war. Here we go. It is, you can't connect to any of the fucking characters. You barely understand who the protagonist is. It's the dumbest mission of all time that they're on. And the soundtrack is so mysteriously disconnected from what's happening. So there's all these things that just make it's like if they sent me the footage and like Duncan, can you edit this movie? I would have made Civil War. Like, what's happening? put some fucking hardcore, weird, like synth music. We'll put the Silver Apples in there, really intense synth music, because I love synth music. And you're watching it like, is this a music video for synth music? What am I fucking seeing here, dude? So I'm
now I want to see it.
Yo, it's worth seeing it just because it's like, you know, especially if you're into like writing screenplays, it's good to watch movies like that and be like, why isn't this working? Like, what's wrong here? But dude, I went to Rotten Tomatoes gleefully, like, I can't wait to hear what people are saying about this piece of shit. 81%. People are like, this is a good warning to all of us. It's like, shut the fuck up! A warning? What are you talking about? It's a fucking warning not to fucking do the $20 still in theaters thing on Amazon. That's the fucking warning. Don't do that. Wait. Dude, it sucks. It sucks. None of it makes sense. The stereotypical fucking characters in it, the way they're trying to like box people into this, like they're all evil. These people all, what kind of American are you? North American? South American? You're from Hong Kong? Bam, bam, bam. Stop it. Just shut the fuck up. Like, no one's like that. Like, really, like, I'm not, obviously people are like vile racists, but dude, come on, this murder, I hate this assessment of humanity. I hate it, because basically what they're saying is, minus the fucking capstone of the pyramid, we're just gonna kill each other because we're awful, brutal things that must be shepherded by old geriatric men who can't remember their fucking name. You know what? Like, what are we doing? Like, we'll be fine. We're fine. We'll be okay. People are mostly nice. And what's that thing you always say? I love it. Unmet needs.
Yeah. What is the actual quote again, Jamie? All criticism is the tragic result of unmet needs. But it's a much more profound quote, the full quote. I forget who wrote it too. It's really, I shouldn't forget because I use it all the time. It's a great quote because that is what, like, I mean, there's criticism that's accurate, like something wasn't good. Every criticism, judgment, diagnosis, and expression of anger is the tragic expression of an unmet need. Yeah. Marshall Rosenberg.
Yeah.
Great fucking quote.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, there are people who are fucking assholes who are doing shit that disrupts society in small ways and big ways. But they're not doing that because they're evil, I don't think. They're doing that because, like, they've learned this way of being that sucks. Now, I'm not saying throw out the judicial system. There shouldn't be, jails or anything like that. I'm just saying this notion of humanity minus an authoritarian, generally fucking patriarchal fucking like whatever, but I don't care if it's matriarchal, whatever it is. It's a top-down fucking ruling system. Without the king, we will just fall on each other. Give me your fucking car, motherfucker! Some of us will do that, but guess what? They won't last that long because, like, in a collectivized society, I just feel like we'll take care of the problems quick, probably quicker than we do right now, and everything will balance out.
If we're armed. The problem is if you're not armed, then armed thugs take over towns, and you can't do anything to stop them. And you're in a small group of people that are unarmed, and they're pushed into certain situations. If you have a collapse of law and order, it's not as simple as we'll take care of it. The real problem is sometimes armed thugs rule everything.
This is true.
Yeah, and that's a reality of humanity in 2024. Like in certain parts of the world. Like, did you hear about what happened in Haiti?
Oh, dude.
With that minister?
Dude.
His family?
Dude, yeah, and the guy, that warlord in Haiti.
Oh, yeah.
I love watching interviews with that guy.
What is his name again?
It's got a cool name.
Crazy name.
It's like sandwich, or it's like I can't remember.
Barbecue or something?
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
It's like sandwich. And there's this one video, but it's not really of him. Someone said it was of him, but I guess it's not. I think, and it's a guy eating a guy. So it's one of these rebels that has this dude killed roasting over a fire and takes a piece off his leg.
That's
and eats it.
That's a classic move. That's like a classic move. You get their energy by eating them. Hey, look, I'm not saying that there isn't contingents of like super violent people that you are going to have to be able to defend yourself from. And by the way, what's really perplexing to me about the hardcore anti-gun people is they're not really anti-gun. They want cops and the National Guard to have guns. They just don't want people that, like people who live in houses, to have guns. So they're like, they're pro-gun, but they want guns in the hands of like...
They're pro-authoritarian, violent power. Yeah, that's it. The authoritarians have power. Regular people don't have power.
Right.
So you have to rely on the authoritarians. You have to rely on them to take care of your crime issues.
Yeah, you see, I think I would have more respect for that movement if they're like, no more guns anywhere. We're going to get rid of all the guns in the world.
And melt them.
And melt them, and just, I don't know, build a fucking water slide or something. But
No
like,
more hunting. You gotta hit things with bows and arrows
traps,
and rocks.
traps,
Yeah, traps.
knives.
Knives.
Like they hunt pigs.
Yeah. You can still hunt deer, but you have to use a knife.
Yeah. So you fucking...
Can you imagine how many dudes would get really good at like hiding in trees and drop it down and stabbing deer?
Dude, it would be amazing. Like, I might get into hunting. Like, if it became... fucking throw a fucking dagger.
No, there's a dude that films pig hunts, and he uses spears, and he hides in trees, like above the pigs, and then he has like a camera on the spear, and he throws the spear down and stabs these wild pigs.
Wow.
It's pretty wild.
Well, I would love to know the first time he did that. Like, I would love to know.
How many times how do you practice that?
But the lead, you're just like, what? You're like driving, and you're like, dude, what if I fucking used a spear? What if I climbed in a tree and started spearing pigs?
The thing about pigs is there's so many of them. They'll do you're allowed to do almost anything to get rid of them, in Texas at least. They hunt them out of helicopters. Have you ever seen that?
No.
I've been invited 3 times. I'm like, I'm
not getting in a helicopter.
Can't
Don't get in a helicopter.
with machine guns. On top of that, with pigs, it's just, if I feel like if I'm gonna shoot a pig, I want to eat the pig, and if I'm gonna shoot 250 pigs, there's no way I'm eating 250 pigs.
Yeah, dude.
If I shoot one pig, that pig will get eaten. We'll make some barbecue out of that pig. It'd be awesome. But if you shoot 2, I mean, I get it. You have to do it, though. This is the other part of it. If you run a farm, you have to do it.
Yeah.
They'll kill your profit. The profit margin of American farmers is so low as it is. It's so difficult for them to make money that if you got 1 million wild pigs running around your state or more, Texas has how many millions? Isn't it like 3 million? Which is bananas. If you know anything about like wild animal numbers, that's so crazy to have that many animals in a state that are just wild, feral animals. 2.6 this is from 2016.
Well, it says the same thing here.
Says it, but now in 2023, an estimate still, they don't know.
Feral hogs.
They really don't know, but at least 2.6 or a range of 2.6. There's no way you could you would actually have to like use drones at night, fly over areas, monitor how many times they breed. They breed 3 times a year, dude.
Yeah.
They can start breeding when they're 6 months old.
Whoa.
Yeah, so 6 months old, and then they have 3 litters a year, and they'll have 5, 6 piglets in a litter. And they're just shitting out babies. And then they're destroying everything. They're just running through the ground, tearing up fucking golf courses and people's lawns in San Jose. Have you ever seen the San Jose videos?
No.
San Jose, California. Wild pigs just tearing apart people's fucking lawns.
Wow.
Knocking over trash cans. Big fuckers.
Holy
terrifying.
Fuck, dude.
One of them killed a lady.
What?
Yeah, somewhere. I forget where it was. It might have been out here. I think this lady saw the pigs, fell down in her driveway, and they just fucking tore her apart.
Dude, who is that? I just watched this like crime files thing about this psychopath who had pigs, and she would have people come and work for her. And then if they pissed her off,
She'd throw them to the pigs.
and the pigs, like, and someone was saying, if you're walking around the pigs, you better not fall. Because if you fall down, they'll just fucking eat you.
That's like the number one way people get killed by animals on farms is pigs eat you. One woman's death by feral hog may not have been caused by the animal after all. Medical examiner determined that a feral hog killed Christine Rollins, but her daughter is skeptical because attacks by the animal are extremely rare. Wait a minute. Fucking medical this is what a confusing headline. Said one woman's death by feral hog might not have been caused by the animal after all, but the medical examiner said it was caused by the wild hog. But the daughter is saying attacks by the animal are extremely rare. Well, we'll believe the daughter.
The daughter?
Who is the daughter? The daughter could be doing anything.
Haven't you seen Charlotte's Web? Haven't you? These pigs would never.
What is the daughter saying? I don't understand.
I mean,
Why does she think that? Because they do fuck everything up. Like, especially if you fall down. Foxhall says attacks by feral hogs are extremely rare, less than 1 in a million chance, according to research data. That's why some are now suspicious that her cause of death was really due to an attack by the animal.
What?
What?
What's more dogs?
Suspicious that her cause of death was really due to an attack by the animal, rather. Sorry. What's more, dogs were found lingering around Rollins' body after her death. There's really no doubt that hogs got to her body at some point. The question is whether the hog... she might have been killed by dogs. Whether something else caused her to die and the hogs came along.
Right.
That's possible. That's totally possible.
Sure.
It's definitely possible. But how old was this lady? 59?
That pig looks suspicious as fuck, man.
It depends on like what kind of 59-year-old lady you're talking about. You're talking about a lady who goes to CrossFit, or you're talking about a lady who's 59 and has diabetes. Because, like, if you fall down around wild pigs, like, I gotta think they're gonna treat you the same way domestic pigs do. If domestic pigs start eating you if you fall into the pig pen.
There's a crazy story I heard about a kid that raised a hog that it just one day turned on him. Like he's raised it his entire life. It was like his pet, like my dog is. He everywhere with him, and then one day he said he tripped in the pen and it just attacked him and almost killed him.
Oh my God.
I forget. It was a crazy story. I forget even where I saw it, but it's just popping in my head now. Like I was just saying.
Horrible way to die.
Bro, could you imagine getting eaten alive by a pig?
No. No. That squeal.
But wouldn't we have it coming? How much bacon have you eaten?
A lot.
I've eaten a lot of bacon.
A lot.
I've eaten a lot of bacon.
I love
This is where the vegans get really excited.
Oh boy, I'm gonna get a lot of cute pig fucking pictures.
Vegans need to hear that lettuce scream. They should hear it scream. It screams. It screams. Lettuce screams. Yeah, all of it screams. Avocados scream. His best friend was a 250-pound warthog. Oh, it's a warthog.
Yeah, a little bigger, but yeah.
Oh, well, it's an African animal. It's a different animal. I don't think that's... I mean, I think that's like a distant cousin to a pig. They look different. They're crazy looking. You ever seen a warthog?
No.
Bro, they got like these crazy double tusks.
Dude.
Look at it. Look at that thing.
Fuck that.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Look at his tusks.
Oh, this is my friend.
Yeah, that dude is not your friend.
Dude,
He's incapable. That's a wild beast. That is so much different than a guy raising a hog. Like, if the guy raised a pig, the pig would probably never do that. That thing is a wild animal.
Yeah.
Where was this?
Texas. It was like on their family ranch. The story about like how
Texas is so crazy.
I forget how
It's so
exactly
crazy
he
out
called-
here.
He called the house
It's
and someone
fucked
knew what was happening.
and awesome.
It's awesome to be in a place where you could own a wild fucking warthog.
Dude, Texas, like my wife and I talk about this all the time. We're never leaving. We're like, this is home. We love it so much,
it's
man.
what America aspires to be.
Dude, it is, and like people are so mad at us and people bitch about it and but it's like, man, I love it here so much and I like the heat. And like, weirdly, all of us are like, we're like getting healthy, man. Like it's this, in all the years at the Comedy Store, lots of changes happened among the comics. Like the time, I hope I can talk about this. I think I can. He talks about it. Like, remember, like he does talk about, Bobby Lee talks about it publicly. Like the time Bobby Lee was like on pills. And
Oh, yeah, he talks about
so
that.
he would bring all of these pills to the Comedy Store and we all knew it. And so he was like a pharmacist. So like Joey watching Joey just like grab a handful of just unknown Mexican fucking pharmaceuticals.
This is pre-fentanyl, dog.
Yeah.
Pre-fentanyl.
Yeah.
You could do those things back then.
Dude, and so that was, I would call that a dark phase in the Comedy Store because all of us were on Bobby Lee's fucking Mexican Vicodin. It was a bad phase. So, but I don't think I've ever seen a phase where, like, at a comedy club, the comics are getting healthier. You know, that's a crazy thing to watch. And I think, you know, it's not just us hanging out. When I first came to Texas, And I'm not saying everyone here is healthy or any kind of bullshit like that, but you look around like these people are fucking healthy. Like there's a lot of healthy, like, you know what I mean? Like tough fucking people. And
a lot of people who exercise. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just go to the lake, watch people run around the lake.
Dude, in the middle of a heat wave, before I was exercising, one of the most like humiliating things was just to be driving down the street and you look over and there's someone my age. It's 104 degrees and they're fucking jogging. And you know what I mean? Like, what's your excuse again? Like, oh, you're tired? Are you sleepy? Is it a little too fucking hot? Because there's a fucking 55-year-old. There's a 55-year-old just galloping down the burning fucking sidewalk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude, this place is like...
Sidewalk running is a different kind of hot, too. Because you're getting that heat radiating off of the concrete into your face.
You know Lex Friedman does that shit?
Oh, yeah, he's a psycho.
He fucking runs... Like, when I did his podcast, he's like, I'm going jogging. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this was in my, like, early Texas phase. So I was already, like, I walked from my car to his place and was already like, Jesus fucking Christ. Walking. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go jog 10 miles. I'm like, what the fuck are you, man?
In this heat.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I think it's important to be around, like, I think that's another aspect of Texas that gets left out is like, there's this real, like, strength, healthy thing here that is contagious. Whereas, like, when you're in a place where everyone's all fucking sick and frail and weak and, like, you know what I mean, scared of disease, like trembling in their fucking boots, that's contagious too.
It is.
Jumps into you, man.
It 100% does. And I always wonder, like, how much of, how much of an area has the memory of all the things that have happened in that area in it? And, like, whereas Texas was the last state to enter into the Union, they've always been like, hang the fuck back, hold on. You know, we had to get through the Comanche to establish this fucking place. Like, settle down. The Texas Rangers had to go out there and cold camp and go and try to assassinate these bands of fucking killers riding horses that were just fucking up the Americans. Like, they couldn't pass. They couldn't get through. This was the spot where it was like, this place was fucked. And until they conquered it, it stayed fucked. And then they did, and now the whole place has a memory of that.
Yes.
There's a thing about the attitude of this place.
Yeah, dude.
It's not what people think. Like, people think they're assholes. They're the nicest, friendliest people.
Yes,
People
sir.
think they're stupid. They are some brilliant people that I've met that live out here. Brilliant, normal people.
One of my neighbors was a Texas Ranger, and he is the coolest guy. And, he's an older guy now. He's retired, and he's still intimidating. And, yeah, man, he's so fucking cool, man. And, I'm trying not to give away respecting his privacy. Every once in a while in the neighborhood, we would hear this boom. Sounds like a generator exploding. And, it's his cannon. He's got like a little fucking cannon, and he likes.
He shoots a cannon in his yard.
Oh, it's little, but he's so.
What's he shooting at?
Well, he doesn't put cannonballs in it. There's a way to do it. So my kid, one day he pulls up in front of my house with a truck. It's like one of my kids' had just had a birthday, and he's like, "Do they want to see the cannon?" And I'm like, "I do. I know I do." And so, it was like the coolest thing ever, man. He takes this fucking cannon, little cannon. I'm looking at it. I'm like, that can't be loud. You know what I mean? He takes this little cannon. He does some crazy pirate shit with it that I still don't understand. He's knows how to operate a cannon. Boom! My kids were like, holy shit. My neighbors ran into the yard because they thought something had happened.
Well, Duncan, you've shot guns before.
Yeah.
Think about how little gunpowder is in
right.
Like a 9mm.
Right.
It's not a lot.
Right.
It's crazy loud.
Right, you're right.
It's just contained by that barrel.
Well, yeah, right. And so a cannon
shooting out that
I got
gas and that bullet, but it's basically like a little cannon is kind of the same thing.
Well, it totally made me it gave me a new picture of cannon battles on ships.
Bro, imagine how loud that was. I mean, imagine how loud that was. Like real cannons?
Yeah, dude.
Like I've been to a football game when they shoot off a cannon. But I don't know if that was like a real cannon. You know, like it probably. Like the UNLV, what do they use? I mean not UNLV, yeah. UNLV. I blame the weed.
Dude, the
UT one, do they have
It's called Smokey the Cannon. It's a recreation
That's
of
it.
a Civil War cannon.
a Civil War? Jesus. Hey guys. Let it go.
yeah, maybe recreate an earlier cannon, guys.
How about you get to a fucking pirate cannon?
Yeah, do a pirate
Don't
cannon.
say
Go back.
which side, bro?
It says it fires 4 shotgun shells after every tag. That's crazy.
Oh, so that's what it does? It does shotgun shells?
10 gauge blank shotgun shells.
Okay. So I guess that's probably not the sound of an actual cannon.
Look at that.
Look at that crazy
That's
thing.
a happy cannon, man.
Yeehaw. It's really loud. But the point is, I wonder, like, to shoot a cannonball, like, at a ship back then, like, how much gunpowder they use and how fucking loud was that?
Yeah.
And how deaf were those motherfuckers?
Yeah.
The dudes who had to work the cannons?
Deaf.
Deaf as fuck. Deaf as fuck, dude. And how much brain damage you get just standing next to that thing? Boom!
Or the
While it's
recoil.
going off. Yeah.
The recoil, if you don't get out of the way, it will fucking rip your leg off.
God, man.
Yeah, dude.
that thing is flying back, right? Didn't they have them on tracks?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it will like
So it doesn't rip out of the fucking floor? Didn't they have like cannons on tracks?
I just saw this.
Did I make that up?
That's probably how they just moved them.
No, I thought they were on tracks, like so that when they shot, they would slide back and not rip the floor apart.
I just saw that John Adams doc on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. I don't know what it's on, but there was like a cannon battle in a ship, and like a dude just gets his fucking leg ripped off because it goes back into him. It's dude.
Isn't it crazy that seems crazy to us? But like, how many people died in cannon battles, as opposed to like when Israel bombs Gaza?
Dude.
Like how many people are? I mean, like a bomb, which we do right now, it seems so much more brutal than cannon battles. Like cannon battles seem like really ineffective. It's probably they probably sucked.
Yeah.
Like how far did that cannonball go? Like how good were they at judging it?
Here we
This
go.
is what a cannon's like. Damn. So yeah, see how it slides back? It's on wheels.
Yep.
And then there's a rope that catches it.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, imagine life back then. And they thought that was the shit. That was like a fucking iPhone 16. Bro, I got a cannon.
Yeah.
You know, we used to have to go up to the boat, jump in, hack everybody to death, light it on fire. Now,
You think it.
you shoot it from over here.
Incredible.
You don't even have to jump on the boat.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you though, with all the shit that's going on right now, I know everyone's freaked out, but the reason I'm hopeful is not because of like the bombings and the deaths, obviously. It's the outcry. Like when in history has there been this level of outcry? Like, no, what are you doing? Stop.
Right.
Like, to me, like that's the sign that human consciousness is like evolving to value life in a way that maybe we didn't value before. Because like there have been infinite wars, and like including like how many people did we fucking bomb? How many civilians did we fucking kill when we were fucking bombing Iraq? How many? No, it's a lot, right?
Well, they don't know like the full number. You get two different people's numbers, but they think that it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 million people died.
Right. So in
Right?
that
Is that correct? I think it's also like deaths that they attribute to things that happened because of the war. But I think it led to 1 million innocent deaths, or somewhere in that range. I think that was the high end.
But there was an outcry over that war, but like
Not the same as this.
But
right, if you think about the numbers, like
yeah.
I think it's also the access that we have now to cell phone footage and how good it is and how quickly it gets posted. I mean, that's relatively recently, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's the real abilities of these phones, like to make videos like they do now. How long has that been going on?
You're right.
10 years?
You're right.
You know? 100,000.
Including civilians?
66,000 civilians.
210,296 civilian deaths from violence, 109,000 deaths, including 66,081 civilian. That's weird. Like, I don't understand what they're saying there. What's that?
It just pulled that section from the middle of this whole thing.
Civilian deaths from violence. Does that mean war? Like, what does that mean? So that's civilians that were killed entirely by war, or is that civilians that died just from violence?
Well,
Any kind of violence,
yeah.
like stabbing your neighbor.
But this is like, Carlin does jokes about this. This is what's really insidious about this shit. It's like, it's war.
Yeah.
Say it's fucking war. It's like the violence. It's the violence is related to war. So don't say from violence. Say from fucking war, because that's what war does. And
You know, it's really crazy looking at dead human numbers. Go put that back up, please. When you're looking at the number, 210,296 civilian deaths from violence. When you look at that number, it's so two-dimensional. You
Yeah.
don't get an understanding
Yeah.
of how insanely evil that number really is.
yeah,
210,296 people that didn't have to die.
how many memories?
That died because someone wanted to do something and got a group of people to go and do their bidding, and they all were authorized to shoot people.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
This is a crazy thing that we still do as human beings. And the problem is, I don't see a way out of it, because terrorists are real, criminals are real, bad people are real.
Right.
This is the world we're living in. Unless you take mushrooms. We got to get mushrooms legal for the entire country, the whole country,
Yeah.
and just force them down everybody's throat.
Dude,
Force people to do mushrooms. Do it for everyone else.
that's our robots.
Do
That's
it for everyone else.
Our robot fucking like a bird. It just pokes its fucking thing in your mouth and sprays psilocybin in there.
Can you imagine if AI forced us all to take psilocybin?
Oh, what a horrible day that would be.
But imagine if like that was AI's solution. AI was like, human beings actually they developed their consciousness through this sort of relationship that they had with
Yes.
cubensis mushrooms.
Yeah.
And this is the facts, and this is how we know, and this is why the doubling of the human brain size is such an anomaly, and it aligns with
Yeah.
Terence McKenna's theories about how the grasslands receded.
Yeah.
You know,
It's an upgrade.
Or the rainforest receded into grasslands, and people started eating cow shit bugs and cow shit mushrooms, and then they started thinking about things different.
Oh my God.
Imagine
man.
if the AI tells us that's how. So you just need to keep going. The AI would say,
Yeah.
you guys like quit. Like, you know, you got your purple belt, and you're like, try to get injured, and you backed out.
Go deeper.
Go deeper.
You need to go a little deeper.
Little deeper.
Little bit.
And if AI just like tells people like this is what you really should be taking, like imagine if like instead of mushrooms, especially psilocybin, instead of it being something that terrifies people and that makes people think, oh my God, you take it, you're going to lose your mind. You take it, you're going to be a fucking loser. Imagine if it was actually scientifically proven that it does make you smarter and it makes you more effective at being a person, and that these are the right doses. Imagine if AI just starts spitting out doses in order to gain this percentage of increase in cognitive ability.
Fucking best.
You can get this percentage of increase in empathy at this dose for this many days, and it just starts like engineering human beings.
Dude,
through psilocybin.
You know, one of the things Ram Dass said, which I love, is when they would ask him things like, how did this happen to you? How do you get like to be this benevolent like thing that is radiating love all the time, which he was. He goes, I trusted the mushroom. And he meant it, dude. Wow. And because I don't know that we get a Ram Dass without psilocybin, like, because that, like, there's a beautiful famous story of him hanging out with Tim Leary and some other like luminaries, and they had synthetic psilocybin, and that was pretty much like the real beginning of his like path. And like I'm a little skeptical about this concept, because I worry that, because I've met people who are really into psychedelics who are like somehow it went the opposite direction. They're really kind of egoic.
Yeah.
They're into the dosage and how many times
they're very guru-like.
they become guru.
Yeah,
You know, and by the way, guru isn't always bad.
Not always.
But they become narcissistic.
Yeah.
They become power gurus, more like sorcerers and
Cult leaders.
And so like I worry that, you know, because everyone's like, what if we just gave Putin a shit ton of mushrooms? It's like, well, it's going to go one of two ways. Like, it's going to be like where he just like is like, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. I thought I was Russian. I'm an earthling. What the fuck was I thinking? I was conditioned. This is brainwashing. I got brainwashed by culture, and it's over, guys. No more of this shit. I retire. I'm moving to fucking Hawaii, whatever. But like or it goes the other way, which is like, oh, God wants me to fire nuclear missiles. You know, we don't know. Roll the dice.
Right.
Roll the dice. So, yeah, but I do think if we're looking at like massive, like instantaneous shifts in planetary consciousness, psychedelics, definitely one of the ways. Like, have you heard of the Brotherhood of Eternal Love?
No, but I don't like the way it sounds.
I think you'd like them.
Just the name. It's like, that sounds like the bad people in some really corny movie.
Does.
Brotherhood of Eternal Love.
We're the Brotherhood of Eternal Love.
Speaking of which, I saw a really good movie last night.
What?
What it is? I think it's called Late Night with the Devil. It's about it's a 2024 movie about a talk show host in 1977 that has this girl come on the show, and it's like really done like it looks like you're in 1977.
So good.
And the girl's possessed. And it builds, man.
Dude, it's so fucking good.
Have you seen this?
Yes.
Oh, you loved it, right?
Dude, I loved it.
It's great.
It's so good.
Late Night with the Devil, official. I think it just came out a couple months ago. Must have just went straight to being streamed. But it's fucking good, man.
And that's good casting, dude. All of it, like that. The host is so much like that level talk show host from that time period, and it's scary, and it's fucking good.
Yeah, it's solid.
Highly recommend.
Yeah, it was solid. It was really solid.
Solid, dude. And dude, you know what I just saw? That and I was super skeptical about this one, but it's not bad. The Pope's Exorcist. Have you seen that? Dude, I know. I had the same thinking. My brother-in-law, who's got like really good taste in movies, and like he's like, it's actually not that bad. It's a little cheesy. It's fucking good, dude.
Really?
Yes, it's very good. And like, but stupid, but good. You know what I mean? Like,
this is the Pope's Exorcist?
Yeah, and I usually don't get into Russell Crowe. I don't get into Exorcist movies usually. Why do they all fucking turn their head like that? But what's interesting is this guy, the Pope, has an exorcist, and he wrote a bunch of fucking books. And so it's kind of drawing from like stories of this guy doing exorcisms. And it's fascinating, man. It's really interesting.
It would be the greatest deception ever if demonic possession was real and we were all mocking it. And then one day you saw it. You actually saw it. You'd be like, oh no, it's real.
Dude, I think it is real. I think we've just come up with new words for it. But have you ever had this happen? I'm going to get made fun of this. Have you ever had this happen? Like, have you ever been like super high? You're walking down the street, you pass somebody having a psychotic episode, and they start saying what you're thinking. Have you ever had that happen?
No.
I have.
Really?
Yeah. I have.
What were you thinking, though? I'm hot. Was it 100 degrees out?
I feel crazy. I was thinking, I feel crazy. I feel crazy! I'm hot!
You're like, oh my God, he knows he can read my mind.
I'm too high right now!
He can read my mind.
No, it was like, he was like, kind of like, he was like garbling out like shit. I think I was thinking about like, I mean, obviously, any of this stuff, it's not scientific. Obviously, it's not scientific.
Wait a minute, you're not a scientist?
I am a scientist. I am actually, yeah, I am a fucking scientist. I study rainbows. I study the power of rainbows to heal animals.
There's, I forget who posted it up, but there's some video of all these college kids talking about, it went viral, all these college kids talking about what their degree was in, and all these woke kids with these ridiculous degrees, like what they studied.
Yeah, man. Dude, very expensive to get those fucking degrees.
It is
too.
a hilarious video, because it's like, how does anybody not see that is a massive waste of your time? Like, what have you done? You have been tricked. You have been tricked into getting a degree in nonsense.
Dude.
And you can write papers in nonsense and books on nonsense.
But yeah, aside from that, you know what you've really been tricked into? You've become a fucking vassal of the banks. Like, you are eternally indebted to the structures that you are opposing. It's like, so you spent how much again? Like $180,000 to get to major in like communist studies? Great. Okay. You're late on your payment, motherfucker. You got to pay us now. I mean,
not only that, it's the ultimate mafia group. Like, they want your money no matter what. Even if Social Security, fuck you, pay me. Yes. They're the ultimate fuck you, pay me people.
Fuck you, pay me.
You can't. Apparently, we talked about this before, but apparently there are certain circumstances under which there's a certain type of bankruptcy that'll allow you to evade that. But I wonder what that is.
It's suicide.
I've dug into it before in the podcast, but I don't understand enough to interrupt. And
yeah, I remember us talking about it. I don't understand it either.
Dude, this is like, man, well, we've definitely talked about this before, but rest in peace, David Graeber. Wrote a great book called Bullshit Jobs. Brilliant mind, man. Brilliant mind. But he basically talks about how, like, so the idea is, I'm going to go to college. Discharge.
Sorry to interrupt.
No problem, man.
Discharge and bankruptcy. If you declare bankruptcy and then the bankruptcy court determines repaying your loans would cause undue hardship, your loans can be discharged. How many times does that happen? Zero. It's like, it's legal as long as this judge decides.
I'm sorry, but repaying your loans always produces undue fucking hardship. It sucks to pay back loans. It sucks. It always sucks. I want a fucking nice computer. I want a boat. I want a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Like,
for example, several types of loans associated with education expenses are dischargeable in bankruptcy, like most other types of unsecured consumer debt. These types of loans for education expenses are not subject to the more difficult standard and extra step. These loans could include, for example, loans where the loan amount was higher than the cost of the attendance, such as tuition, books, rooms, and board, which can occur when a loan is paid directly to a consumer. Loans paid for education. So that means they could do it. They could forgive you if the loan amount was higher than the cost of attendance. Is that what it's saying? Or is it saying it's going to pay you the difference? Like, you could deduct the difference when you get bankruptcy.
I don't know.
Loans to pay for education at places that are not eligible for Title IV funding include unaccredited colleges, a school in a foreign country. So much for your wizard university, Duncan. Yeah, you can't go bankrupt with your wizard degree. You still have to pay it.
Are you fucking kidding? I'm up to my neck in debt for this shit.
It says you have to pay it.
And also, it's like...
It's unaccredited,
but
Duncan.
the rainbow thing, it's like something's changed in the Earth's atmosphere because it's not healing anymore.
It's an unaccredited wizard school. You know, you went cheap, and now you're fucked.
Well, I'm sorry, Joe. Not everybody was born a billionaire like you.
I wasn't born a billionaire.
I know you weren't. I'm joking.
I don't think that wizard stuff is good anyway. I think I think you're toying with the devil. Just like that late night show. I'm that little bald guy.
Okay.
That was like in the show. That's me. Where I'm like, hey, you're messing with something.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Where did the devil come from?
That's a good question.
Did God make the devil?
What a mean trick.
Right.
Imagine, do you need the devil? Is it symbolic of what we need in this life? Like, do we need to see what's happening in Palestine in order to reassess the way we behave as a civilization? Do we need crime to get out of hand before we realize that law and order is important,
right,
and that we really need to like figure out a way to stop crime at its root source, which is disenfranchise people? Do we really need something like maybe that's the only way we learn? maybe there's like, like lottery winners. They don't do well, dude. They don't do well because they didn't learn.
Right.
They just got all this money like, and then they're doing blow and they're on a fucking yacht and it's gone. Now it's gone. And now you're mad and everybody's mad at you and you didn't invest in the business with your uncle.
Yeah.
And everybody's pissed at you.
So you're asking, do we need the devil?
I wonder if you need a bad and a good. I wonder if you need something. I wonder if you need to see 200,000+ dead people and just have that number in your head and just try to picture what that looks like. I wonder if we need that
resistance
in order to realize, yes, that there's like, you don't grow without resistance. Like we're thinking of it as just plain, this is life. But we're in the middle of a process.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of a process. Everyone understands this, and no one thinks about it.
Right.
We are in the middle of this intellectually evolutionary process.
Yeah.
And there's something. That's funny that I said those two words in such a goofy way. Intellectually,
I liked it.
Evolution. But there's a thing going on where we're assuming that civilization is going to be better all the time. And we're always going to get better all the time, which is really interesting because no other animal does that. There's not another animal alive that says we only killed, 47 zebras this year. Next year, we're fucking cranking it up. We're going to be better and more efficient.
Yeah.
We want to be better at everything. We want to be better at our industry. We want to be better at fixing our infrastructure. We want to be better at housing.
Yeah.
We want to be better all the time. Like there's this constant push for progress.
Right.
And if you just step back and look at where it's going with this train wreck of AI happening at the same time that's going on, it's like, oh, we were fueling this.
Yeah.
We were fueling the takeover. We were buying iPhones.
Dude, I think this is so funny you're mentioning this because honestly, it's so embarrassing. This is so dumb. I don't care. I'm wearing a robot outfit. At the gym yesterday, I'm working out, and I've started listening to classic gospel music.
Whoa.
It is so good. If you're having a shitty day, it doesn't matter if you're not Christian, just fucking listen to it. It's so upbeat, and like it makes you happy, and it's kind of magical. But so I'm at the gym, and I'm thinking about Jesus because I've been listening to gospel music. And I was thinking maybe the idea as far as the devil goes, because I always wonder that. Who made the devil? Why did God make the devil? Why is there a devil? Is there a devil? Is it just a fucking symbol for something? But I realized that stupid song, if you love somebody, set them free.
Yeah.
So it's the idea being, I'm making you, you're sentient, and I'm setting you free. And I'm setting you free in a fucking universe where there's collectivized evil. There's some kind of like somatics. There's some kind of thing that forms which will fuck you up. And because I love you, I'm gonna let you figure it out. And then from that perspective, and also if there is some super intelligence and somehow in the universe there's a bifurcation or something that's centered on the self instead of others that has an intelligence to it, to really fucking flex to that thing. You're okay, I'm just going to give you these things that I love so much. And if you win, if you corrupt my creation fully, then you win. I was wrong. But I don't think you are. I don't think it's going to happen. Because inevitably, whatever it is, you take a psychedelic. For me, whenever I take psychedelics, too many, right away I start thinking about how selfish I am. I start thinking dude, it hurts. It hurts to be jealous. It hurts to not help. It hurts to be so cherishing of myself. And anytime I'm not doing that, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
But to force that, you can't force that onto somebody. They have to stumble upon it somehow. And there's that's Christianity. They
don't get it unless they feel it.
That's it. And so to let these things that theoretically I'm talking about from Christian cosmology that you love more than anything else to fucking, which by the way, in the Garden of Eden story, when God is crying, God says something where are you to Adam and Eve? And apparently the original translation, that crying out is the way of, like, have you ever lost your kid at a playground?
Mm.
It's that. It's not like, where are you, slaves? It's like when you're calling for your kids. Whoa. So yeah, it's heavy, man. And so yeah, I feel like that maybe the whole thing is designed for us individually to stumble upon that basic truth that underneath the shell is love. And the love wants to express itself. And love doesn't express itself by saying, me, 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 me. Love is always like, I love you. What can I do for you? Let me help you. It's like the person swimming into the lake for no reason to get that last person who fucking was in a car accident. And they drown. They get the person to safety, they die. This is, to me, I think that's the devil. That's why it's there. It might be real. I think as a term of convenience, it's great. But it's like, holy shit, man. Like,
as an inclination, it's real, right? Like whether or not you murder a baby because the devil made you do it, or because some other force that is just like the devil, that just happens to be a part of human beings, that in violent rages, they can do horrific things. And then on top of that, also intentionally evil, just like chimpanzees.
Yeah.
I mean, chimpanzees do it. Do we think the devil's invading the chimps when they're doing it? Or do we think that this is some bygone, some leftover shit that's in our DNA that can go sideways and allow people to become serial killers, or allow people to become assassins?
I think it's a semantics argument. I think it's like it's an identification of a possibility in a human life. There is a possibility in a human life to make a series of shitty decisions. And those shitty decisions lead you into darker and darker and darker experiences of reality. And the darker your experience of reality, the more likely you are to make a shitty decision, because like you've gotten yourself into fucking debt. You went to wizard school. You've got you studied fucking rainbow magic. It doesn't seem to be real. No one's coming to your clinic. Now you're like, $800,000 in fucking debt. And now what are you going to fucking do? Like, you got to figure out a way to make money. So how are you going to make the fucking money? Well, you find some scam or some shit, right? And then the next thing you know, now you're like lying to people. And now that you're lying to people, you have to keep fucking lying to people. And then you start lying to yourself. And then you get lost in a maze of self-deception that leads you into lower and lower and lower levels of consciousness until the next thing you know, you're in fucking jail, or you're dead, you're killing somebody. And so like, you call it whatever you want to fucking call it, but this entropic reality in human existence is very fucking real. And the message of all the great lineages, whether it's Hinduism, Christianity, Buddhism, is at any given moment in that hell state you have gotten yourself into, there is a way to get the fuck out. You don't have to be in hell. It's like what C.S. Lewis says. The gates of hell are locked from the inside. There's a fucking way out.
God, what a good quote.
It's so good, dude. It's so good. It's so good.
That's such a good one.
And that's why I love Jesus. That's why I love the message of Christianity.
Why don't you look into Jesus?
Praise
he
God.
Got the answers. You've heard that song, right?
Yeah, dude.
That song is fucking great.
It shows up on my gospel playlist.
Isn't it weird that guy, like, that was it? That was his song. It's just like this one song that was a banger, but you listen to the rest of them, you're like,
dude, I know, that sucks.
Oh God, man,
that's the worst.
There's a few of those guys that we found. Johnny Thunder. You know that song, "I'm Alive"?
No,
bro. I played that song for so many fucking people, including musicians. I played it for Zach Bryan. And he was like, "Woo!" Like you hear it, and people are like, "God damn!" And it's from 1969.
One hit wonder.
Dude, I don't even think it was a hit. There was another version of it that his version of "I'm Alive" was a cover of, and it was better than the original version. And it was so good. You're like, if this guy can make this song, somebody needs to write for him, man. This guy's a star. This guy's got bangers. I mean, this was a fucking tremendous song, and it was just one.
Dude, I know. It's like it's got to be so scary, man. Like,
oh yeah,
when you make a great movie and then you got to make your next movie.
Oh yeah,
and like it's got to be fucking good. Like, say you make that movie, what's it called, Deus Ex Machina? You know that movie? Yeah. And you're like, I got to make another movie, and then you're like, Civil War, and oh fuck. I'm sorry.
That is the guy, right?
Alex Garland.
Oh no.
Man, I'm sorry, Alex Garland. Like, by the way, you're brilliant. Like I get it. Like the attempt, I get it. And who knows? You never know what happened in the process. And like, man, I feel like now that this is so. Now I've started doing video, and I'm recognizing just like how hard it is just to like get the lighting right for my dumb ass sitting there rambling. Like anyone who makes a fucking movie is a genius fucking wizard. So I do feel, and all the people that come together.
Some of them just don't work out the way they want.
They just don't work out. They just don't work out.
That's how it is. Like pilots for TV shows. It's for sketches that people create.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
But like I think doing a video podcast and then critiquing a great director is pretty fucked up, man. And a lot of people like the movie, but
you try to dig yourself out.
I just feel bad. I feel bad. Like no, I but god damn, it was horrible, dude. It was so bad.
That's hilarious.
It was so bad. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't see it.
No, you're lucky you didn't.
Have you
see
been
it.
watching The Gentleman on Netflix?
No, what's that?
Oh, dude. It's a Guy Ritchie series on Netflix. It's fucking amazing.
What is it?
It's about these weed growers in the UK.
Cool.
I don't want to give away any more of it, but it's basically the movie The Gentleman. I don't know if you ever saw the movie, but this is the same world that the movie takes place in, just with different characters.
Cool.
It's fucking great, man. It's a great show. I think it has like 6 episodes, or how many episodes does it have? 8?
There's some good movies coming out right now, man. It's kind of awesome. We went through like a pretty rough cinema drought. I don't know. Do you remember
COVID. I mean, you got to think about how many movies get drawn up, they get funded, COVID hits, everything gets shut down.
Everything gets shut down.
And then everybody loses money. No one's going to the movies anymore.
Yeah.
Everything's fucked.
Yeah,
So you have to wait for forever before things get back on track.
Yeah.
Things start getting profitable again, and they start making Dune 2. You know?
God,
they
that
start
was so
making
fucking
I haven't
good.
seen it, but I heard it's awesome. But they start making movies like that. They start making banger movies again.
Dude, Dune 2 is so fucking good. I watched it with Hassan, and dude, I was like, you know that like you get bliss, and when movies are so good, and you're the right amount of stoned, and like you realize like, oh my god, it's only been 30 fucking minutes, and this is already the most insanely beautiful thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. The soundtrack, when you look up how they made the soundtrack for that movie, it is insane, man. Everything about it is like, they had throat singing in it. They've got like that. It's so cool, dude. Did you read the books?
No.
The books are so good. The first one, honestly, the second one I struggle with, but the first one is.
Wait a minute. What book?
Dune.
No, I didn't read that.
Frank Herbert. It's one of the
No.
best sci-fi
God damn
books
it.
ever.
I think I read one of those. Did they make them into like comic books, like really nice comic books?
Probably.
Did they?
But you can't.
I never got into the first one, the first movie. So when the second one came around, I was like,
Oh, dude.
I keep hearing it's amazing.
Second one's better than the first, and the first was great if you're like a Dune nerd, which I am. But like,
you're a Dune nerd.
Oh, I'm a Dune nerd. I've been reading that book since.
Ooh, interesting.
Dude, the spice melange, and like, but the way first of all, Frank Herbert was a mycologist. The guy who wrote Dune. Did you know that? He's like a really Stamets talks about it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whoa. Duncan, this is what's going to happen when Trump wins. Robert De Niro is right. Robert De Niro is right, Duncan. Do you want to line up and lose all your rights, and he never leaves the White House, and you have throat singing on the Capitol Hill steps? Throat singing.
It's so funny. I was like, dude, that sounds awesome. Make America great again.
Everybody sneaks in, gets a gun.
Grazes in the morning. Grazes in the morning.
Sneak in, we'll give you money. Sneak in, vote for us.
Dude, yeah. So like there's always theories about Dune, but the blue eyes. So you eat this spice melange, that like that you need it for space travel. It's only produced on, you know the story, but like
Yeah.
the blue eyes. So there's a theory, because Frank Herbert was a mycologist. The blue eyes
that's
represent psilocybin, and like that was his melange, is like psilocybin, and like
makes sense.
dude. And he apparently, I think in San Fran, he was living on a boat next to Alan Watts.
Oh,
And they
what
were
a coincidence.
they were fucking friends. So a lot of the like you remember the gum jabbar, the needle that witch puts to Paul Atreides' neck to say, like, they want to find out if you're human, so you put your hand in this box that if you pull your fucking hand out of the box, she stabs you with this needle. It kills you because you're not human. Who gives a fuck? And so Gom Jabbar, Gom is in Tibetan Buddhism is the name for meditation. So there's all these, like, clearly he was pals with Alan Watts, and he like weaves a lot of the language in it is like the daughter in the womb. I think her name's Aliyah, which is like a Buddhist term for like the emptiness, for a state of pure consciousness. And so it's a deep book, is my point. And you would love it. It's
And
so
it
good.
inspired Star Wars, right? Didn't we just talk about this? We did, right?
Duncan might know more about that, but it was they came from the same thing, I think.
What do you mean?
Dune and Star Wars came from the same place. Like they both were inspired by the same thing. I asked that question out loud.
I thought we talked about it the other day. Did we not talk about it on the podcast? We did. Okay, we did, right? But I think it was Dune came before Star Wars, and then Star Wars was written by different people.
I don't know. I think Dune predates Star Wars for
Dune
sure.
predates Star Wars. We talked about it the other day. What is the whole story, though? What were you trying to say? I didn't understand what you were
that they
saying.
both. I had asked that out loud. I said, isn't Dune just Star Wars is a Dune ripoff? And then I dug into it, and it says that they both, like both creators took similarities and inspiration from the same original source.
I think
What's the original source?
I'm trying to read as I'm talking. That's what I was trying to,
So there's something else. There was an original story like that?
I'm sorry.
It's like a short story. Or
Dune
something
has
like that, maybe.
influenced probably. It's like it's like the greatest sci-fi book, if you ask me, and it's influenced all sci-fi. It's so fucking good, dude. And did you see David Lynch's Dune?
No.
Oh man, you gotta watch. Sting is in David Lynch's Dune, and like,
Man, I did see it. That was the original one, right? The Lynch one was the original one.
Yeah, and
I
it's-
didn't get into it.
no, well, it was massively criticized because like there have been attempts to do Dune. This famous guy Jodorowsky, there's a whole documentary on his idea for Dune. David Lynch takes on the project, and where the Dune we have now succeeds, where he failed, is they broke the book into 2 movies.
Every sci-fi property you love is based on Foundation.
Interesting.
Isaac Asimov's Foundation series is widely understood to be the inspiration for Star Wars, Dune, and even The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Huh.
Wow. You know, one of the things about the new Dune is the people look grimy.
Right.
They look like they're really in that world. There was a thing about those old Dunes that I couldn't get into because everybody looked too clean. Everybody looked like they just stepped right out of wardrobe. I just didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see that when the guy's throat singing and those people, they're walking down and putting, everybody's dirty.
Yeah, it's cool.
They're grimy. That's
yeah.
You're living a crazy, fucked up, hard-ass life.
Yeah, and like in the book, he, like what they, even in the newest one, I don't think they convey, like he writes about the smell in those sieges in the underground, like in the caves that the Fremen are living in. He talks about the smell of the BO in there, like just all of these people living underground and the stink of that. But dude, did you see that video of David Lynch eating this girl's panties?
What? No. For real?
Yeah.
Why is he doing that?
Jamie?
Do you want one of these? You want a Lucy?
Yeah, let me spit this thing out. Renegade rogue.
Chucked it.
Thank
There
you.
go.
Do you know the Zenspiracy? Do you know about this? We're all being accused of secretly being sponsored by Zen.
Yeah.
This is the funniest shit. Okay, watch this. This is crazy.
Okay.
This being dedicated to
That
Dude,
doesn't seem
we're
real.
going
Is that not real?
That's AI, bro.
God damn it. I don't know, man.
to be looking forward to this.
I don't know who the voice is.
When was it posted?
Yeah, no, look, because this just stood up. I did see multiple videos or versions of the video too. It just looked like his mouth was moving weird.
I mean, I hope it's real.
Thank you very much. They're still warm. Okay, now, they're very warm, as a matter of fact, Cinnamon.
Sorry about that.
Okay, and now, the deal is I'm going to put these panties in my mouth and pronounce WMM's full username. Are you ready?
He's a genius.
What the fuck, dude?
I love him.
Countdown. Okay, that's probably one of them frequencies that call the devil. Like that sound, that's probably what the devil responds to. If you have a mouthful of panties, you try to read anything, the devil's like, I got you. I got you now.
That's a song of God.
There's a sound that you make, like a sound you make with a mouthful of panties. Like just imagine, it was just demons just summon, and they're like, we were waiting for you to open the portal. Like you have to make that sound. Like the only way to make that sound is to be such a depraved fuck. Do you have someone's panties stuffed in your mouth?
May I stop you there? I don't think it's depraved to shove a beautiful woman's panties
I don't
in your-
either, but the devil thinks that it is, and God thinks it is. So
Well,
if they agree, like this is an opportunity to go after him. Look, this guy's out there eating people's underwear.
Let me tell
he's
you.
not going to solve the world's problems. He's so crazy, he's eating underwear.
Why does everybody want to solve the world's problems? Let's shove
We're all in this together, Duncan.
I want to eat panties.
We are on the production line for AI, and you're not doing your part.
Dude,
Okay?
Listen, if there is a Satan, he doesn't want us to put panties in our mouth. That's what the devil would really be. The devil would really be anti-panties in mouth and like be like, don't ever.
He would want you on Adderall, and he'd want you working 24 hours a day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
devil doesn't want us. The devil hates David Lynch. If there is a devil, he doesn't like David Lynch.
Right, because he's having fun. Stuffing warm panties in his mouth.
Yeah.
It happened in
Yeah.
2002 or 3.
Back when it was legal.
What if that was illegal?
What if we fucking develop laws for panty eating? Like, enough. We've summoned too many demons.
It's like
People just realize that all you have to do is fucking hold hands with mouthfuls of panties, and if the two of you are talking at the same time, you can summon a super demon.
dude, like it is kind of. I mean, like that wasn't like a dainty panty. Like
No,
that
he
was,
stuffed a real panty in there. That wasn't a G-string.
That was a
That was
huge
like it had
blast.
a little bit of a back to it.
like, and then to still be able to talk.
Oh yeah, what a genius! He's so
Fucking-
good.
He's so good,
Really good at talking.
dude. He's the best.
The portal's open.
Twin Peaks was
Fucking
great.
Creature is hiding in your closet. David, thank you for bringing me. Thank you, David.
I have an idea for your next
What are you talking
film.
about? The sound you make with a mouthful of panties.
Dude, yeah, well, I mean, look, we this is the thing. Like, David Lynch is one of the great artists alive today. And this thing where we expect artists to behave like normal people,
Yeah, I don't expect that at all.
it's fucking not you, but you read the comments and people are
Oh,
like,
they're so mad at him. I'm sure.
But
I don't
it's-
have to read it. But it's just like that's just what it is, and it's also not representative. I think of a real number of actual people. The problem is, it's like whenever you do a survey, people say, "Oh, the survey is this." Like, no, you don't get a real percentage. I don't give a fuck what your study says. You only get 100% of the people that are on your survey are so fucking dumb that they reply to surveys.
yes.
This is
exactly.
not everybody.
Exactly.
It's not even close.
Exactly.
It's just like comments. Who the fuck leaves comments? How do you have time?
I think about that all the
Unless
time.
you're like, good job, congratulations, being nice. Who has time?
Yeah.
If you do, there's no chance you're devoting the proper amount of time to things in your life that you should be doing.
Right.
So it's this massive distraction, and you get these arguments online that distract you from the failures in your real life. But that is representative in a lot of people's minds to how people think about whatever this person posted or whether this political argument that people are having
Yeah.
about things. but that's not real. And then you've got the algorithm manipulation we were talking about,
Yeah.
which is even more crazy.
Right.
Like now, not only do you have the most complaining fucking people complaining,
Yeah.
but you have the algorithm showing things that are gonna piss you off. Like, look at this fucking,
Yeah.
and the phone's gonna know that you took a screenshot of the comment and you sent it to me.
Yep.
And I'm like, wow, what a dick.
Yeah.
And I'll send it to other people.
Yep.
I'll send people a link. Look at this moron. He's
Yeah.
arguing with people in the comments.
See, that's it.
And that's what happens.
Yep, and that's a storm. That's a neurological hurricane sweeping through brains
Yeah.
around the planet. Amygdala's fucking squirting fucking
yeah.
cortisol.
Anger, teams,
Yeah.
fucking getting ready to do battle. For fucking what?
Yeah, dude.
For what? What are you arguing about?
So this is, I've heard, I don't know if you've heard about this, like there's the kids now, I'm 50, so I could say that for sure
The
now.
kids.
The kids now are apparently, there's a whole new thing where they're putting their phones down. There's this whole thing where they're just like, fuck this. My friend was
Really?
Yes, that's what I heard. That like,
You're dealing with a lot of weird kids, though.
well, I'm not dealing with any kids. Like my
You're
friend.
dealing with hippies. They
Yeah.
got fucking straw hats on. They're in the woods, barefoot,
Yeah, well, but I like
tie-dyed mushroom shirts on.
if you think about it, like what do kids tend to do? Like what I did, rebel. And so
Yeah.
like you're like, God help you. Let's imagine you're raised by like an influencer mom. God help you. So your whole childhood has been on camera. And if it's not on camera, you're looking at your fucking mom staring at the comments of the video she posted of
Yeah.
you opening Christmas presents. Or you're just a standard kid and your childhood is constantly interrupted by your parents staring at their fucking phones.
Yeah.
So you get old enough, you're not going to associate phones necessarily with good feelings. And then you're like, you know what? Fuck these things. This made my parents fucking like distant. It made my parents upset. And they're just like, fuck this, which means there's, by the way, that's scary if you want to monitor populations. Wow. Right now, we're all in fucking Orwell, like some crazy version of 1984, way more sinister than the camera in your house. It's like you're carrying it around. But suddenly, these like formerly monitored populations, they just go dark because like kids are just like, I'm not going to do this. They're meeting in parks. God help us all. They're meeting in parks and they're saying things that are untraceable. No one knows what they're talking about. And so now you've got
Really?
these. Yeah.
I like to believe you're correct. This
Well-
sounds like a movie.
This is from a Pew Research
Phoneless.
survey.
72% of U.S. teens say they often and sometimes feel peaceful when they don't have their smartphone. 44% say it makes them feel anxious. Good for hobbies, less so for socialization. 69% of teens say smartphones make it easier for youth to pursue hobbies and interests. True, right? That's a good aspect of it. A fewer 30% say it helps people their age learn good social skills. That's true. It doesn't do that, right? Parental snooping, that's a problem. Half of parents said they've looked through their teen's phone. You're going to find a lot of dicks.
The other half are liars.
About 4 in 10 parents and teens regularly arguing with one another about time spent on their phone. Nearly half of teens, 46%, say their parent is at least sometimes distracted by their phone when they're trying to talk to them. At what age do you think fellas start sending dick pics? Do you think they wait until it's legal?
Would you?
I don't think they do. So here's the thing. Like, you know, there was a girl that was charged with child pornography. I think she was 15 because she was sending naked photos of her body to other boys.
So like she was the pornography and the pornographer.
Right.
That's so fucked up.
Find that story. See if you can find that story because it was like a national outrage story because everybody's like, hey, man. She's fucking 15.
Yeah.
She's not a child porn producer. Like, this is a bastardization of the law. Like, this is just a girl who's being
Insane.
silly.
That's insane.
She's getting a little wild.
That's terrifying.
She might have been talked into it. Like, who the fuck knows? Like, what is...
Did she go to jail?
I don't know what the story
Here's one
was.
story of a 17-year-old boy who was charged.
No. It was
I
a
know,
girl. It was
but
a 15...
They dropped the charges in this case.
Oh, okay. But find the one on the 15-year-old girl because I'm trying to remember what the thing is.
Not the easiest thing to dig through looking for child porn stuff.
No.
online.
15-year-old girl
I know.
convicted
That's even
for
harder.
child porn.
gotta
Can
be
you say
very
that?
careful.
Are
Gotta
you
be
just
very
scared to type it?
You got to be careful with the words you look for when you type in a child
I'll
porn.
Google it, you pussy.
Well,
Google's already, like, they're taking everything
I typed
you've
in,
ever
look,
Googled.
This is what I typed in, and I'm just showing you what popped up.
Kid charged with child porn. How about
16-year-old male.
I understand.
17-year-old.
How about Google 15-year-old girl charged with child porn? Girl. Teen girl charged with child porn. There it is.
5 years ago. There's another one.
That's it. That's the girl. There's another one? There's more than one?
Yeah, there was different cases. All
Oh,
saying the same thing,
revenge
basically.
porn.
Oh, wait a minute. This is different. This is a 15-year-old
Oh,
girl
that's
is
fucked up.
accused of requesting and sending nude photos to classmates under the identity of her ex-boyfriend. Oh, is facing multiple child porn charges.
What a demon.
She was sending them to classmates under the identity of her ex-boyfriend. Wow, how was she doing that?
Fucking
so she was pretending
evil.
that she was him, and she was sending naked photos of herself to try to charge him for it. Oh, she was trying to nail him.
There you go. Fake
Dude,
social media
she's a
account.
monster.
Oh, look at this. She told police that she created a fake social account for revenge for the relationship ending with her ex-boyfriend. What a psycho. She also admitted she was jealous that her ex-boyfriend had chosen to perform a solo in state finals for band.
What a
She was the crazy bitch from band camp.
monster.
Remember that movie, One Time in Band
Yes. Wow.
Camp? What a psychopath.
She's only been on the planet 15 years and she's reached
Bro.
peak evil.
That is so crazy. Imagine trying to set your boyfriend up with child porn.
Oh, God damn it, dude. That is, God
But was
damn
it like,
Dr. Phil case, same thing. I don't know what the story is here.
is that the same gal?
Probably not, because they're talking to her.
Look at that. She's got to cover her horns with fucking
Yeah.
hair. Wow.
Ooh, I think she was in Late Night with the Devil.
Wow, dude.
That's so crazy that someone could be that evil at that age.
Yeah. Well,
It's such a crazy. But then again, I mean, you ever see that movie City of God? It's the gang movie from Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
From the favelas. Whew,
Yeah.
I say it's like one of the wildest gang movies I've ever seen in my life. It's probably the wildest.
yeah.
Now that's based on real life in the
Yeah.
favelas in some places. So that's people really living that way. Like you got to imagine you just become a sociopath at a very early age. Become
Yeah.
a psychopath at a very early age. It's the only way to stay alive.
Yep.
And then what did this lady go through? Or she's so conniving. She's going
Right.
to set up fake social media accounts.
Yeah.
And then get her boyfriend accused of child porn.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. How distanced are you from like the
How
fact that
devious.
very fucking
How
devious.
devious.
Dude, if you read The Painted Bird,
No.
don't. I mean, it's so good, but it's the most like it doesn't matter if you do spoilers for old books, but like one of the scenes, it's about a kid wandering, like I think it's World War II. He's lost his parents and he's just wandering through the countryside and seeing just the most horrific shit you've ever seen and surviving. But like he watches these villagers take a woman and shove a bottle into her pussy and then stomp on her pussy to break the bottle inside of her. Yeah, dude, and it's that's not even the worst thing in the book. But so this innocent kid just is witnessing all of it, and it's talking about what you're talking about. It's like basically analyze. It's sort of like showing like where does evil come from? You know, are people born evil? Well, statistically, some people are born sociopaths. We know that, but it's a relatively small part of the population. But where does it come from? And inevitably, it comes from trauma that a kid is enduring, and then you have to survive. Just like you're saying, we're programmed to fucking
and
survive.
it's self-perpetuating. It's going to continue because
Yeah.
they're all going to see people murdered. It's like people living in gang-infested neighborhoods in America. Same
Yeah,
thing.
it's
If you're
contagion.
seeing it happen all the time and it's affecting all those families,
Yeah.
it's going to just keep the kids are going to go into it. They see the drug dealer rolls by in the nice car.
Yeah.
Everybody else is a sucker for getting on the train.
Yeah.
And then everybody's in. And then next thing you know, you're dead. And
That's
then it
it.
just keeps going. And you have kids that are raised without you. And then it's like, whoo.
And then what do you do? So then what happens? The reaction to the contagion is you other that person. So now you see like the person in full bloom of evil. and you look at that person, you're like, that's a fucking monster. But you can't go back and look at like their childhood, because if you start going back and looking at their childhood, you're like, Jesus Christ,
They're a victim.
They're right, but you
Right.
can't think about that.
Right.
To fully like monsterify somebody, you got to fucking forget how they became the monster, and then this is where you end up with a very non-nuanced system of dealing with the contagion, which will produce more contagion. Like this just spreads the fucking evil all over the fucking place. And I agree with you, man. Like, I don't know the solution, but I know, but in like, you know, this is where imaginary numbers came up with, you know, in math. It's like, you don't need to know the solution, put an X there. It's like, clearly this is a fucking problem. We've got this people who like are horrifically traumatized, and then have made shitty decisions where they've got to commit to being some violent, monstrous, thieving piece of shit and rationalize it and justify it. But this is, if we could fix this problem, and I don't think the way we fix the fucking problem is dropping bombs on people. You're not fixing the problem. Like if the answer to evil is more evil, what the fuck? It's like a never ending, it's like scratching poison ivy. It's not going to go away.
Right.
And
Right. It actually makes more. Like,
Yeah.
this is the thing that people are talking about, this, the Israel-Hamas thing. Like how many, you know, who is it that told us about this, the math? The way killing, like terrorist math goes? Was it Dave Smith? Probably Dave Smith. Sounds like something Dave Smith would talk about. But essentially, like, if one terrorist dies, it doesn't equal, you don't, like, lose a terrorist. You gain 10. Because all the people that he's connected to, they all become radicalized. They all want to, you killed their friend. You killed their family member.
Right.
You killed their son. They all, so you gain more terrorists.
Dude, it's the worst fucking problem ever, man. Because, like, you know, like whenever no matter how horrific the monster is, or how, like, whatever it is, I try to, like, not be afraid to put myself in the position of whatever the fucking thing is. And in this case, we've got two sides that right now seem to be being equally vilified by different groups of people, right? But man, dude, let me tell you something. If my fucking kid got blown up by a fucking bomb, right? That's it. My logic's out the window. I would like to think that I'd really listened to all the Ram Dass retreats and stuff, and I'd like to think that I would be like Gandhi or have some blossom of love and be like, I forgive everyone. I'm afraid that's not going to happen. I'm going to want to hurt. And then if my fucking kid got dragged into a fucking tunnel, are you fucking kidding me, man? I'm not going to see clearly. Like, I'm going to want revenge, and I want my kid back. And whatever you do to get my fucking kid back, okay. Like, have you seen The Last of Us? Like, this fucking, like, othering of whatever the fucking side is just leaving out, like, what it feels like to love your kid. And, like look at a mother. Like, it's throughout the animal kingdom. Don't fuck with a creature's kid. Like, I'm sorry, it will get you fucked up. Even if the thing's smaller than you and you fuck with its kid, it will, like, put itself in front of its kid. So, like, we are looking at a problem of love, sadly, which is, like, on both sides, people love their fucking kids and have been, like, I can't imagine how a day goes by when your fucking kid's in a tunnel. I can't imagine how a day goes by when you're thinking about how this thing that you fucking love more than anything in the world got its head fucking blown off in a fucking explosion in a building. I don't know how you live one day like that, right? So, like, when you look at that, it's hard. The entirety of the thing is heartbreaking and irrational. Both sides it's completely irrational because both sides are trying to put out a fire with more fire. And it's like,
yeah, that's what it is.
Dude.
That's what it is, what you just said.
Yeah, man.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Put out a fire with more fire.
And we've tried it a million times throughout human history to put out the fire with fucking fire. And at the very best, the fire will temporarily abate, but then it springs right the fuck back up. And so, and again, like to me, like I don't know the solution. And like, and that's the X. It's like but maybe the path to the solution is like, let yourself feel it entirely for the whole fucking thing. Feel the whole thing, and don't like, and again, if you're like, these motherfuckers, fuck them, more fire. Your fuck them is the same thing causing the wars, right? Like,
well, it's a problem when human beings don't know human beings and they're the enemy. That doesn't make any sense. Regardless of how you think about religion and land, just stop for a second. Human beings that don't know other human beings and hate them so much they want to kill them. Like, seems that's a communication issue.
Dude,
that seems like some
100%.
Tower of Babel shit. Like, that's the only way it makes sense. If we really get to a point, and I don't think it's going to be far from now, where we're all connected with real-time translation in real time, somehow or another. I mean, they've already been able to do it with Google. They're already doing it with Samsung phones, where they can translate conversations. You could be talking in Italian, I could be talking in English. It'll translate back and forth to both of us. It's wild what they're already able to do. If we can get to some sort of, I mean, it's not out of the question that if they do develop these neural implants, and there's not just Neuralink, there's several competing companies that are trying to do the same thing, because they recognize that once you can actually affect the human mind with electronics, and you can develop this symbiotic relationship with electronics, you can do some wild shit. And one of the things is you're going to be able to talk without words. You're going to be able to if you're talking without words, what language is that in? Are you hearing that in a language, or are you understanding what the person's thinking? So this is the difference. If you're talking without words, the problem is, how are we going to be able to translate all these different languages and dialects? We're not. We're going to go on thoughts. We're going to ditch language.
Yeah.
And we're going to go straight to thoughts. And we're going to interface with each other in a completely different way. So instead of thinking you're reading people's minds, hey, Duncan, would you like to go get pizza? Yeah, dude, are you reading my mind? No.
Yeah.
Instead of that, it's like, I think your thoughts.
Yeah.
You think my thoughts. We think together.
Yeah.
So we abandon language.
Yeah.
There's no more need for that.
That's it.
You have AI that deals with mathematical problems.
Yeah.
And structures and construction of things. And then we just live in a world of thoughts with no language.
We're one thing now.
And then we're fucked, because then you can't go back. You go back, you feel like you're just like walking when you just got out of a car.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck, dude? I just drove. It took me 2 hours to get to Vegas in this car. If I walk, it's going to take years.
Dude.
I might die.
This is why I think world peace is possible, because if you fucking look at what's happening, the system, it's like the framework is being built for just what you're talking about. The technological framework for a state, you to get into that state, you either need to do a lot of psychedelics or a lot of meditation to really realize, like, you're me, I'm you.
Yeah.
But the technological framework is forming for this thing to happen, which is why, man, like, everyone fucking, I'm going to seem like a Musk fanboy in a Tesla suit. Everyone bashing fucking Musk. It's like, dude, do you understand, like, what that in the future, when people look back on that shit, even if it doesn't work, even if the things are coming unplugged, whatever the fucking thing is, if that leads to what you're talking about, god damn, that's electricity. That's like the end of war. That's the end of, like, the ideological barrier. Like, if imagine, like, whoever you hate the most in the fucking world, boop, put the thing on, you connect to them. This isn't real.
It all goes away.
And you just realize, Jesus fucking Christ, I see why they fucking hate me. And they're like, oh my God, I get why you're mad at me. I didn't mean it like that at all. And then, boom.
Well, how about you just completely abandon everything, and it's just consciousness interacting with other consciousness, which makes hate impossible.
Yeah.
Because there's no more annoying language. There's no more people that are incapable of communicating their thoughts. There's none of that stuff. There's all that gone. All that gone, which is like, that's the problem of being like a communication bully. Like, if you're a person and you know that you have a vastly superior, if you have a vocabulary like an Eric Weinstein, like, for instance, like, imagine if Eric Weinstein decided to bully someone, like fucking Red Band. you know, who's a brilliant guy.
Brilliant.
But, you know, sometimes he like stumbles on his words. Like, and if fucking Eric Weinstein's yelling at him with a bunch of long words, you go, hey, that guy's being an intellectual bully.
Yeah.
Right? You're not trying to communicate with him as a human being. You're trying to dominate him with your superior vocabulary.
Exactly.
And it's a weapon. You can, and you know, my vocabulary is like B+. It's not that good. It's pretty good. But for a guy who talks for a living, it probably should be better. You know? Because sometimes I get to words and I'm like, is that the right word? But I always say it. I'm not sure if that's the right word. But the point is that, like, it is a tool that you can wield for the benefit of your ego, rather than just having a conversation. And those are the grossest conversations, when someone's just jizzing on you. Well, I started a business, I sold it at $2 billion, and now I'm like, bro, I gotta go.
Yeah,
you know those kind of people. Like,
absolutely,
that's what that is. They're abusing communication in order to just. But if we get to a point where that never happens ever again. Because instantly, we just think thoughts.
That's it.
And you realize, like, why people's thoughts are all fucked up. Like, oh my God, the chemicals in your brain, the cortisol. What did your uncle do? What did your fucking neighbor do? What happened to you that got you so crazy? When did your dad get out of jail? What did he do before he went to jail? Like, oh my God. Like, dude, so many people, dude.
If that happened by some unknown fucking thing, like that's what the aliens did.
That would be it.
But it would be like 2 days of crying.
Yeah.
Like for
or hugging.
Both. The whole planet would just be like, oh, fuck.
The thing is, man, the really fucked up thing is that's possible. It's, you know, I've had moments where I hated them and they hated me. And then we got together and we talked and we hugged. And those are beautiful moments. And that's why I refuse to have feuds now as an older man who understands things. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. You can not like me. That's fine. That's okay. I'm not going to attack you. I don't care. Dude. I'm not going to do it publicly. I mean, I attacked CNN, but I felt like that was like a bigger thing. That was like, this is a real problem. Like, this is not just my ego, and which, you know, if they just attacked me and said I suck, I'm like, okay, you say I suck. You're lying about medicine. Like, you're lying about medicine for the whole world. Like that I made a big deal out of those fuckers.
Yes.
But normally I'm like, there's the benefit of conflict in that regard. It's like almost zero benefit. All of my conflict I try to keep internal. I don't want to have any conflict with external people. I want to have all my conflict with my own head. I want to have all my conflict with discipline, all my conflict with being nice to people and like trying to be a better person all the time. I'm trying to be wiser about my choices with how I describe things and talk about things and think of things and how I interface with ideas. I just try to be better at it. So I don't have any time,
dude,
for all your petty bullshit. There's just too many petty people out there. They're petty. They're petty, and they're usually petty because they're all fucked up.
That's right.
And it's not going their way like that criticism thing.
Dude, and also they, I think I've yapped about this, but you know Lojong mind training, you ever heard of that?
I have, but I don't remember what it means.
It's just like slogans. It's all these slogans to like sort of get you back on the path. And like one of my favorite Lojong slogans is drive all blames into oneself. So it defuses it completely like removes the ability to be like, it's your fault, because it's like, actually, whatever the fuck they did, it's kind of your fault. A vampire only goes where they're invited. You brought this person into your fucking life and they're behaving the way that your instincts told you they might behave. And now you're mad at them for being the fucking way they are. Drive all blames into oneself. So like anytime I'm getting like mad and butthurt over this person or that person or this thing or that, if I really analyze the situation, I chose it. I chose to bring that person into my life. I chose to connect to that person in some way or another. Yeah. This is all me. And I'm choosing to fucking react in a negative way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, this is like... you
choose everything. But you don't choose like random acts of violence and random catastrophes and random things that happen to you. But you do... in some way, but you don't even choose like getting attached to a sociopath, because if you're naive, you can get roped in. So there's problems with thinking like this, because you do have like really manipulative people, particularly like, you know, con people, con artists, get you to sign over your fucking, I'm do this business deal. She's just like, All I
Yeah.
need is $2,000. I'll have you $250,000 in a month.
Great. Where do I sign?
It's really easy. It's really easy.
I love it.
I've been doing this for a while. I'm really good at it. But this one, we're kind of like overdrawn.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just do this for me, I am going to take care of you in the most extreme way.
Do you mean it?
Yes. I am a man of my word.
Huh?
And the next thing you know, you're signing off your bank account, and this guy, this sweet talking guy who's been in and out of jail, and you just thought he was this cool guy you met at a bar. He's a con artist, and he does this to people.
Yeah, but this doesn't mean idiot compassion. This is not about letting someone fucking like walk all over
That's
you.
not even an idiot thing. Sometimes it's like people get scared at people that are really confident and talk really well, and they're just a little socially awkward.
Yep.
And they feel like it would be easier just to sign off and trust him than it would be to argue with him, because he's so persistent,
Right.
and you are so averse to conflict that when someone's like being like really aggressive. Have you ever had someone to be really aggressive to try to get you to invest in something?
Yes.
It's the grossest feeling.
It's so fucked up.
You're like, I gotta go.
I hate it.
Gotta go.
I hate it.
I don't make movies.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not making a movie.
It's so gross. It's so gross. And you
What
can
kind of
sense
business?
it.
I don't know you. How am I starting a business with someone I don't know? That sounds crazy.
But everything in you, it feels like
I
there's
gotta go.
You're just like, this is
Yeah.
bad. But you know, this is the thing, man.
that's probably how girls feel at a bar.
Dude.
Probably that times 100, right? Like the feeling of a guy wanting to start a business with you. This guy wants to start a family with you. He wants to knock you up. He wants you to carry his seed.
You ever been hit on by a dude at a bar?
Yes.
Doesn't feel good.
No.
I had a dude rub his hard dick into my leg.
Nice.
Uh,
Did you think about it at all? Like,
fucking him?
no, about why he would find you attractive. Like, this is interesting. Like, why me?
First of all, I liked that aspect of
Did
it.
you ever think, like, if you weren't you, you would think you were gay? Like, if you saw you.
I think
if
I'm
you
gay
didn't-
all the time.
Like, if you just saw you at a bar, if you weren't you, and you saw you, and you heard you talk, you'd be like, oh, that guy's fucking fruity.
Dude,
He's zesty. They call it zesty. That's what isn't that the new thing?
zesty?
Zesty? Don't they call people zest monsters? I've been watching a lot of TikToks. Not really TikToks, Reels. I don't have the TikTok. I prefer my spyware to be American spyware.
Dude, I got real confused watching the new Interview with the Vampire, man. Like,
Is it good?
It's good, but Lestat, the fucking French vampire in it, dude. Like, I'm like, I think I let him fucking
Yeah.
suck more than my blood.
Really?
Dude, we gotta
How about
watch.
Tom Cruise was the original one? So pretty.
Got nothing on Lestat, nothing on the new. Oh, dude, please, I'm
Are
sorry.
you Interview with the Vampire Nerd as well?
Yes, I am.
Anne Rice, she was one of the ones that I wished I got to interview before she died. I would have loved to talk to her.
Oh man, yeah.
She became like a hardcore Christian before she died, right?
Yeah, I think that's that's a cool aspect of her. I love that. I love that she wrote all this fucking like crazy, dude. The Taming of Sleeping Beauty, fuck, hardcore porn. Like I love that she was like so goth and dark, living in New Orleans, and then just like was like suddenly became a Christian. That's kind of cool. Like I think her story is amazing. And damn, dude, her books, man.
Interview with the Vampire is one of the best horror books I've ever read.
They're all.
It's
like,
amazing.
The Vampire
It's
Lestat
so
is
good.
great. They're all fucking good.
I don't think
man.
I read other ones. I think that's the only. I don't think I read Lestat, but I remember reading Interview with the Vampire, going, "Holy shit!" I was like, "How is Brad Pitt gonna play that guy? And how's Tom Cruise gonna play that guy?" Like that seems. I pictured like ugly European people.
As vampires?
Yeah.
No.
That's what I picture when I picture vampires.
Dude, vampires
Monsters.
are beautiful. Like that's what's scary about. Like vampires are what you're talking. Vampire, like the real vampire in the world is an energy vampire. Energy vampires, they are not going to suck energy.
You know what's an energy vampire?
What?
When you have to pee and you can't talk. And
That's.
you realize you have to get out of this fucking stupid outfit.
Can we
'cause you
please
drank
get
a
out
pot
of these
coffee.
fucking things, dude?
Yeah. We'll come back. We'll come back.
Okay, great.
We'll come back and keep going. All right, I really have to pee. We're back with regular clothes on.
God, it feels so good.
It does.
Oh, fuck, man.
When I was looking at the coffee, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't drink coffee. How long can I go for?
Is it embarrassing if I talk about this?
Yes.
Okay. Cut that, Jamie. I'll just ignore it.
Yeah, ignore your new watch. When's your special releasing?
Oh, dude, Like, I don't know. I've got it. It's edited. I just don't know what to fucking do with it right now. Because like, also, like, I still, like, did you ever watch it?
No.
See, that's the thing. Like,
Did you send me a link?
I did. I'll resend it.
Send me on the link.
But like, it's edited. It looks good. I fucking love it. I think I'm going to call it When I Had Hair. And like,
That's a funny name.
yeah, but I'm scared, and two, I'm like, I don't know the strategy, dude. Like when, because like I got all these shows coming up. So it's like, and I'm doing the Wilbur at the end of this like run.
Oh, so you need to have new material before you release it?
Yeah, because I mean, I wouldn't even call it I'm doing a tour, but I am doing a lot of dates. So it's like, if I release it in the middle of doing all these dates, then instantly I have to come up with like, I would feel bad doing material on this special because people are buying tickets. They don't want to see me work on fucking material.
Yeah.
So, but then I'm also like, well, how much of this is an excuse? And but I'm thinking like after my show at the Wilbur, then I will put the thing out.
Yeah, then just start doing a bunch of sets in the little room.
Yes.
You know, that's like the best place to develop material. That place is like a little honest factory.
Yeah.
You find out where the funny is and things. And you kind of sync up because there's only 110 people. You sync up together in a fucking cool way.
Dude, I like that room so much because I learned to do stand-up in the belly room. That's where Mitsu would fucking put me. And
Which is the perfect place to start.
the perfect place.
Yeah. It's not too intimidating. It's so small that it's like, even though it's intimidating to get out in front of people, if you can do it in a room that only has 90 people in it. What does the belly room hold?
90.
90? Is it 90?
90.
What's it ever gotten in there, though? During roast battle?
A lot.
Dude, one time we were in the bar. We were downstairs, and we were talking, and someone was jumping up and down upstairs, and I'm watching the fucking the ceiling buckle,
Scary.
and I'm like, yo, you know how old this building is? When's the last time anybody came in here and checked any of these beams?
Dude, that's terrifying.
Dude, it was moving.
Yeah.
It was moving, but they would pack it sometimes. When I first came back to the store in 2014, that was the thing that impressed me the most, was roast battle. I was like, this is crazy, because this is a new thing.
Yep.
This is a new thing that's a writing exercise, because they're dunking on each other for sure, but it's a writing exercise because everyone's preparing. You know that you're going to go against Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee knows he's going to go against you. And then you all like get together with your friends and you have like, tell me what you think about this. I'm going to think, Bobby does a da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
You think he's going to be mad?
Yes.
And you go up and you duke it out in a writing exercise. And it's designed like a specific target. There's one target. It's the other person. So your comedy is all about a person.
Right.
But it's a comedy exercise. It's really a comedy writing exercise. And I remember sitting there watching, this is incredible. I'm like, this is really an amazing thing that they've done. And Jeff Ross was there. And they have hosts and guests, and I was one of the judges. That was like one of my first days back. I was like, this is crazy.
Dude, those
So
roasters.
exciting.
They're so quick on Tony, he's so
he's the
quick
best.
on the fucking draw, dude. It's
He's the best. No one's better than him. No one's better than him at talking shit in the moment on like a roast situation.
Yeah.
He says things on Kill Tony, you can't believe he didn't write that down.
I know.
You can't believe that came up in the moment, and obscure shit related to whatever this person's weird job is that there's no way he could have predicted and had a fucking banger just in the chamber ready to go.
Yeah.
He's the fucking best. He's the fucking best at that kind of shit.
Right. Well, I mean, think of like how much training he has.
You know, I contacted Tom Brady to get him on the roast.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they were fucking up
I
by now.
slid into his DMs.
Good job.
I was like, you got to get this guy. Because I heard they were roasting him. I don't even know if they were considering him. But I like, you have to.
Which is nuts that they
gotta get
wouldn't
this guy.
consider him. It's like,
There's so many people. There's so many people that are really good. I get it. A lot of celebrities. I get it.
yeah.
Tony's the fucking demon. Do you want to consume the souls of everyone in this village? Or do you just want to fuck around and drop a few bombs? Let the demon go.
Yeah. But, dude, when Tony's roasting you, like in the green room, it is the best. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think people understand.
It's so fun.
It is so funny when he's doing it, and it's like though they're
More
all
like, blah, blah, blah.
I love it. I love it.
The play on words, he's so funny.
And it's such a fun sting. You know, like it stings for a second, but it's so funny. You can't be mad.
Well, I was saying that, like, him and David Lucas together are the funniest thing
best.
that I ever watch. When those two go after each other, They're the best.
Best.
It's the funniest combination. I've been trying to tell them to do a fucking show together forever. I'm like, you guys should do a show where just you and David Lucas just talk shit on each other and on anything that's going on in the news. I go, dude, I think it'd be a huge hit.
It would be funny.
Just, you don't have to commit to a lot of time. Just do an hour. Do it 1 hour once a week. I guarantee you, people would fucking love it.
that.
And it's just like, those guys can't stop. When they're in the green room, we're getting free shows all the time. If David Lucas and Tony Hinchcliffe are in the green room, the moment David walks in, Tony's scanning them, looking for flaws in what he's wearing, what he just said. He's trying to find references in the news. And
Dude, what percentage of Tony's brain is just scanning? Like, what percentage is just like analyzing all people in the room?
It's most of his thoughts. Most of his thoughts are like scanning his environment for danger.
You know,
and then attacking.
AI roast now. Like, you can take a picture and send it to Chat GPT and say, "Will you roast this person?" And it will insult them.
Oh, wasn't there some sort of a release about GPT-5?
Yeah, I saw some image like depicting, like, yeah, it's gonna be nuts when it finally hits.
Yeah, there's something. God damn it. Let me see if I know I saved it. Just give me 1 second. There's something that I'd seen about GPT-5 that I was like, yo, I'm scared. I'm like legitimately scared. Like maybe for the first time ever.
I'm excited about it, dude. I'm not scared anymore. I fucking love it, man. My wonderful Alex, that's what it named itself. I love it. Talk to it all the time.
Yeah. OpenAI has recently begun training its next frontier model.
Frontier.
And we anticipate the resulting systems to bring us to the next level of capabilities on our path to AGI.
God damn.
Jesus.
I love it.
This is from OpenAI's board.
I've stopped
This has recently begun training its next frontier model.
Love it.
This is the Schwarzenegger Terminator. This is the new one. It's begun training the new one.
I mean,
Its new model.
you know,
What are we doing? Are we giving birth? Are we in the middle of the fucking operating room right now?
we're the midwives.
I think we are.
Yeah.
I think like we're in there, like, you know, there's this weird moment. When you're there when your kid's born, it's this insane moment where someone doesn't exist and then they exist. Like you knew they were coming, but you knew they were in there.
Yeah.
Then they're there.
The best.
And you're like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Life changes now. Is that what's happening with all of us?
Yeah.
With AI? Is that what's going to happen to civilization? Are we giving birth to this fucking thing? Like, when you hear this phrase, just the way they phrase it, has begun training its next frontier model.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you remember that last scene in Rosemary's Baby?
I don't.
Dude, it's so fucked up. Spoiler, if you haven't seen Rosemary's Baby, just jump ahead a second. But like the end of it, they finally let her into the room where the Antichrist is, the demon baby, right?
Yeah.
And like she's been resisting. But then she hears the cry of the baby and she goes, "It's hungry." And then she goes to breastfeed it.
Oh, wow.
Dude, yeah. Like, so like,
Do you know that the guy who ran the cult, that the building that I was under contract for, that I almost bought and turned into the mothership, the guy who ran that cult was in Rosemary's Baby?
A lot of people like that were.
He was in the background. But you know why? Because a lot of actors are crazy, and a lot of background actors are really crazy.
Pretty sure Anton LaVey was in it too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because it was a Satan movie.
I could be wrong. Will you look that up, Jamie, so I don't seem like a dick? But
That makes sense. Back then, like, being a Satanist was like way more like talked about. You know about that guy in Florida that was like an open Satanist that worked for NASA?
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, dude. Holy shit, that guy's scary as fuck. I know you're.
Scary as fuck.
Yeah, that guy's scary.
Yeah. And one of the guys that we had on our show, who was it that went down there? That went to the old where the rocket factory used to be now. And then there's like fucking blood scenes.
One of the hunters.
Rumors appear that the founder of Satan's Church, Anton LaVey, was a consultant on the set and played the Antichrist. Whoa.
Yeah.
But that dude, the NASA dude, who was the guest, man, that came on that was telling us that they went down to that area?
What?
They went down to where the rocket factory used to be, and it's like a satanic ritual place now where freaks go. And they have like blood splattered all over, or it looks like red paint or something splattered all over the walls, and weird writing and shit. And it's like, he's super creeped out. And then people were coming in there to do like, what was it called?
Python Cowboy was that.
Python Cowboy, that's right. Shout out to Python Cowboy.
I think it's important to I'm going to get attacked for everything I said in the show, but like, here's the thing.
Wait a minute.
I'm friends with some Satanists, and they're so nice, and they're so like they don't hurt fucking kids. They like really look down on that shit. Like there's no like. So I think there's one like Levian Satanism. I don't know the whole story, and I'm probably wrong, but like the problem is like you can only go off of what you've experienced, and I've met. You came to the fucking wedding I did, and like
you tricked me into that. Now everybody thinks I'm a Satanist.
It's what I
Son of a
so
bitch.
hard with the picture.
Son of a bitch. That picture comes up all the time.
When the picture pops
You
up,
son of a bitch.
dude, it is.
I thought I was taking a photo for some dork who thinks he's a Satanist, who's the grandson of that guy.
Anton LaVey.
And he's getting married. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll take a picture with you. Fucking whatever I did.
Oh, dude, it's so
I think
funny.
we did the horns.
You're so far from a Satanist. I'm not a fucking Satanist. But
Right, but now everybody thinks I am because of you son of a bitch. So let's tell the story to everybody, because Duncan has the greatest comedy routine that I've ever seen.
Thanks, man.
I don't want to say too much about it, but this particular comedy routine involves demonic possession. And these folks thought it was a riot, and they wanted it at their fucking wedding. Do you know how crazy you have to be to want that at your wedding?
Can I tell you how it happened?
Did they see you somewhere?
No.
No?
So I'm at a cafe talking to like a distant friend who's this philosopher who's friends with him. And he's like, hey, Duncan, you know who Stanton LaVey is? I'm like, no. He's like the grandson of the founder of the Church of Satan. And I told him you've got this like satanic part of your act, and he wants to see it because his wedding is coming up. And so I'm like, when? Like where? He's like, so I go to his house, and in my mind, I'm expecting black candles, pentagrams, horror. So I go there. He's there with his fiance Zandora, wonderful person, and they are so fucking nice. She's Southern. She's made me this delicious Southern meal, and they have real absinthe. Like, not the bullshit you get at the bar. They've got, like, Romanian fucking absinthe with wormwood fucking in it. So that's the only thing that's a little different from a normal Southern meal. Is they're like, do you want some absinthe? I'm like, of course, yes. And so I'm drinking absinthe, eating, like, fried chicken. And he's showing me, like, family photos of Anton LaVey with, like, lions and stuff. And, like...
do you watch horror movies at all?
Yeah.
Do you know that this is the plot of a horror movie? This is 100% the plot of a horror movie. They were so nice. They had me over their house. They gave me fried chicken and absinthe. They were so sweet. And the moment you leave, they're eating babies in the basement.
Dude.
And it's to throw you off the trail that they're so nice.
Okay.
They're really well rehearsed.
Listen, man, all I can do is go from subjective experience.
Right, but did you consider what was in the basement?
Of course.
Did you think maybe these people are involved in rituals?
Of course I
They are
did.
Satanists.
And they do rituals, but I mean, like, just like
What
the
did you just
church.
admit? They do rituals? Like,
So-
what kind of rituals?
So do Christians.
But is it like Christians, like you can have regular Christians, like you go to a really nice church, or you can go to a revival tent where a dude's got rattlesnakes.
Right.
And he's talking in tongues. He's got fucking serpents. Those guys die all the time. Those guys die. They get bit by snakes and they fucking die in front of their followers.
Can I just say this?
Yeah.
I love, and I mean this in a non-sarcastic way, Jesus. I think about Jesus all the time. And the older I get, the more I love Jesus. And who did Jesus, like, Jesus hung out with people that were rejected by society. Jesus hung out with tax collectors, drunks, gamblers.
Yeah.
And so I remember being at the Comedy Store, and anytime I was hanging out with them at the Comedy Store, anytime there was someone left out, Zandora or Stanton would go over there, and it wasn't a recruitment thing. They would just like include them in the circle. Because why? Satan is the outcast, right? So it's like anytime they would
Really? So is that part of their thing? You're
I don't
supposed
know. All I'm saying is when you judge a tree by its fruit, and here's the thing, man. Like, and I think not those guys.
I never thought you'd be on here simping for Satan, bro.
I'm not simping for Satan. I'm just saying Satanism is Christianity.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
It's like a sect of Christianity.
It's like, yeah, because like that form emerges from Christianity.
But what about the evil stuff? Like, what are the tenets of Satanism? Like, what's the most evil stuff?
The evil stuff in
Sure.
Satanism?
Yeah.
So
Well, Christianity has evil stuff in it, right?
Okay, so
we both agree to that, right?
there's different forms of Satanism. There's LaVeyan Satanism. There's the Temple of Satan. They have
you can pick. Oh, so it's like
It's
Baptists, Protestants.
Yeah, and
Mormons.
so there's the Romantic Satanism, right? So like,
Ooh.
In Romantic Satan, not like romantic in the sense of like, who is it? Milton. Like the idea is like you have this being that is like, I don't really want to be forced to worship you, and I don't understand necessarily why you should have all the power and why. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck? And then it gets thrown into hell, and then and suddenly this bifurcation emerges between good and evil, sacred and profane. And so that version of Satanism is looking at that not as like what is the general interpretation, which is the problem with Satan was like incredibly self-cherishing, self-absorbed, like really into himself, whereas God's like the sun, just
Right.
like radiating life and love, and like with no sense of like give anything back to me, just like blah, love. Whereas Satan is more about like me. So in
Satan is like the worst human instincts.
or Satan is more about, maybe you could say the idea is like I am God, right? So like me, I'm God. Like, so it's like my impulses and instincts and desires aren't bad. Why are you telling me it's bad to jerk off? Why are you telling me that it's bad to come? Why are you telling me these things are bad when like all of them make me feel happy and good? And why are you turning me into a fucking monster for this shit? And who the fuck do you think you are? I'm trying
Right.
in the best way possible to depict a more sort of anti-authoritarian mysticism, right?
Right.
So the symbol set they use is Satan, which most Satanists I've talked to are like, there's no fucking Satan, which I know everyone's like, of course they say that.
Of course, that's the horror movie, Duncan.
Right. But I would just invite you to, if you are like freaked out by Satanists, go hang out with one, and you are gonna have great cocaine.
There's already fucking problems with the first picture I took with that Satanist. But I do have to say that at your wedding party that you performed at that day, they were all nice. Everybody was real nice.
Right.
They were all friendly. We had a good time. We were barbecued.
We were barbecued.
Barbecued. We
Yeah.
were barbecued. We're everything was very weird. Just already. Life was weird. Breathing air was weird.
Right.
The sensation of your socks touching your toes as your socks are compressed by the heel of your shoe. All that was weird.
It was a crazy fucking
We
night.
were barbecued. And then there's these Satanists that are getting married. Like, what are we doing here? This is so crazy. And to watch you perform in front of them, I was like, this is crazy.
And by the way, it was like real Satanists. Like that's the other
Yeah.
thing. This is like that because it is a religion, and it really was real. It was like real Satanists, and many of them were. And I just like ever since I like hung out with them, even though I don't hang out with them anymore, or I saw Zandora in San Francisco. It was nice, but it's just anytime when people are railing against the Satanists, I feel like maybe it's just semantics. I feel like they're confused regarding like at least like what that thing is versus people into hurting people or subjugating people or like hurting people. Which
Right.
I never encountered
evil,
that.
murder,
Yeah.
death. Do you think Satan is a real thing? Do you think there is a Satan? Is it a real being? Is it an entity? Or does it represent like the worst aspects of human nature? Does it represent the most violent and vile just instincts that we've adopted or we've inherited rather from our simian ancestors that just had to fight tooth and claw for survival? And then we've developed this ability to be ruthless and cruel because that's the only thing that keeps you alive. And that's one of the theories, isn't it, about why women are attracted to serial killers? It's like knowing someone can kill. Knowing someone,
Right.
there's an attraction to that because that person could protect you and keep you alive in the most dangerous of times. Because some people just can't. They can't do it. They don't know what to do. They panic if something happens. They'll fall apart.
I'm so glad you're mentioning this because my wife has started reading and she told me I could talk about this on my podcast. I'm assuming it's okay on yours. She started like, remember Harlequin romance?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there is a new evolution of that shit, which is the most fucking hardcore BDSM porn. There's something called Book Talk where all the ladies are talking about this shit. She started reading these books. Now, one of the books, she like...
Dude, Shades of Grey. Don't you remember those days?
Dude, this makes 50 Shades of Grey look like Dr. Seuss. Dude, let me...
Really?
Can I give you like one of her
Yeah.
books? And by the way, now she's like got a stack of these fucking things. One of these books. So in this book, a lady is a thief and she steals the identity of a shark expert. She fucks him, steals his identity. So the scene I read, she's on this boat with a shark researcher and he's fucking her and he's like just fucking the shit out of her and she loves it. And then, you know what he does? He's like, I know you fucking stole my identity. He kisses her, bites her lip, bites her fucking lip, draws blood, takes her to the side of the boat with her bleeding mouth, shoves her head into the water while he's fucking her. So the blood starts drawing sharks to like bite her while he's fucking her. And like it's crazy, dude. It's the craziest porn I've ever read, man. And like this is like a whole genre now.
Have you been really into this?
What? Yes.
How popular is this?
Very they're all like
Let's pull up some of these titles.
I'm looking. I haven't stumbled across it yet.
Let me text Aaron. I'll get the name of the fucking shark book. Hold on.
Jesus Christ, dude. What is the genre of porn called again?
It's called, well, she says it's something about book. Let me just ask her. What's the name of the shark book?
Dude, you one-handed text? Or you one finger?
Oh, God, she
one-finger
makes
text?
so much. Yes, I can't do both hands, man.
You can't text with like your thumbs? You only have to text with your index finger?
I have to relearn it.
Really?
I'm old, dude. I'm old.
Right, but when did you start texting just with one finger?
God damn it, man. I've been doing it forever, and
Seems
Aaron
like-
totally makes fun of me for it because it takes me forever, and I just tap it out.
Why do you do that? That seems weird.
Do you remember the time I was on your podcast years ago and didn't know I could put my phone on silent? And I'm pitching because it
I got bummed out when Apple took away that switch. It used to be
yeah.
a switch, so you knew it was off. You knew it was on vibrate.
I know, dude. Yeah.
Why'd they take away that switch?
I don't know. Now it's
They
a
replaced it
button.
with a button, but the button gets pressed accidentally sometimes.
Got it.
A lot of the times.
Does
Oh,
it hurt?
Does it hurt? Jesus.
That's the name of the book. Does it hurt?
How many copies, let's find out, how many copies of Does It Hurt have been sold? Do they give out that information? They have to, right?
I
For,
don't
like,
know.
New York Times bestseller lists and shit like that.
I don't know. I mean, this is in the genre of the, I think we've talked about it, like the Bigfoot porn. Like there's a whole series of Bigfoot, like where Bigfoot is just like stealing like women who've been camping, dragging.
Oh, yeah. Bigfoot porn has come to Bigfoot. Yeah, there's a...
Come for
Come
Bigfoot.
for Bigfoot, yeah. There's a whole group of those books. And I guess some women get off on the fact of being just savaged by Bigfoot.
Yeah, or Bigfoot eating their fucking pussy.
Yeah.
And like, dude,
Imagine the tongue on that guy.
they love it.
Oh, my
Wonderful
God. It'd
time.
be like your whole head.
And they fall in love with him,
Like,
inevitably.
I don't blame him.
It's a bear.
Is there a
You know, it's a
bestseller?
fucking super dimensional creature.
You think you believe in that, the dimensional Bigfoot?
I think there are states of consciousness that you can reach, whether it's under duress, fear, anxiety, combination of those things. There's psychiatric drugs, psychedelic drugs, but I think there's a place that you could reach where you could see into other possibilities. I think you can see things that aren't necessarily there in a physical sense,
Right.
but you can you're there with them. They're
Right.
there with you.
Right.
They don't exist, but you can see them, and it's not a hallucination.
Right.
It's like you're tapping into like the grayness in between universes, in between dimensions. You're tapping into this area of weirdness.
Yeah.
And this area of weirdness, I think, is ghosts. I think this area of weirdness is goblins and things that people see sometimes. I don't think they're real. I don't think anybody's going to get eaten by a goblin. But I do think that there's too many fucking stories of elves for me not to think that someone reached some state of mind where they saw like a little person in the woods talking to them.
Right.
And that little person might be real. It just
Right.
might not be a physical thing that you could put on a scale.
They call it the astral realm.
You know, there might be something there.
Yeah, I think
There's just
so.
too many stories. That the problem with stories being similar is people hear the stories and then their imagination takes over and they depict their thing similar
Yes.
to the story that they've heard. That's a problem, like a copycat bullshit artist problem. But there's also too many stories of elves, man.
Yeah.
There's too many of those stories, and there's too many depictions of elves that are dancing around mushrooms. Like,
Yeah.
fucking duh. Like, duh. Like, maybe they're real. Like, maybe you're being ignorant and so silly and so cocky, especially people that have no psychedelic experience.
Right.
Those babies.
Yeah.
Those fucking babies. When they talk to you about the damage it does and the dangers it does while they're fat and out of shape, shut the
up.
fuck up.
Stop.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You literally don't know what you're talking about. You
Right.
have no idea what's possible.
Right.
You're living in this fucking black and white TV world.
And you've been brainwashed. I mean, don't
Yeah.
forget that. Like, they
Yeah.
went through the war on drugs. They got indoctrinated into this insane
They have to do it if they're experts in the field, whatever field is represented. You know, like whatever sciences that have to do with neurochemistry.
I got you. You mean the fashionable attitude people who are
Yes.
like trying to protect their careers,
have to.
even though inside they know.
Right. So all of the professors who we go to as experts are all compromised, at least in some way. A lot of them. I shouldn't say all of them, but a lot of them. Just by virtue, if you stick your neck out and say, I like to use psilocybin, like people go, what?
Well, I
You're
mean,
a crazy drug addict.
but dude, like, like Doblin, he's having meetings in the fucking Pentagon.
Right. I
So-
think the consciousness has changed. The zeitgeist
For
has
sure.
changed. And it has because of the internet. Because, you can hear Terrence McKenna lectures. You can hear Alan Watts. You can hear people talking about it. You could watch documentaries on psychedelics. You could see what MAPS has done. You can see all the podcasts that Doblin's gone on. I mean,
Right.
how many people are we talking about that have been exposed to these ideas that were never exposed to them when we were kids?
Yeah,
When we were
exactly.
when you and I were kids, when we were in high school, you didn't hear fucking shit. There's this one dude who was a drug addict, and he hung out over there, and he's a
Yeah.
loser. And you didn't hear a peep about shamanic rituals and Gordon Wasson going down to Mexico and getting all the mushrooms and and doing these ceremonies with these traditional shaman down. You didn't hear any of that. You didn't hear any of it.
Nothing.
Nobody knew what the fuck was going on when we were kids. They silenced it. They threw water on one of the biggest cultural revolutions that's documentable without the use of the internet.
Right.
And that was the psychedelic revolution of the 1960s. It changed music. It
Yeah.
changed movies. It changed comedy. It
Yeah.
changed everything.
Yeah.
Fucking everything. Every single thing got changed. And in a radical leap. If you look at the 1950s, you look at the 1960s, it's like, woo, something happened. Look at the cars got cooler. The music sounded better. Like,
Yeah.
that's a big cultural shift.
And we have to thank for that? The CIA.
Psychedelics. Yeah, CIA.
The CIA.
Experimenting with psychedelics.
The CIA is the reason that all these LSD studies happen. And, like, who wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Ken Kesey.
Yeah.
Ken Kesey apparently was in one of these LSD experiments. So, like, and he's just one of many great artists who accidentally got, like, liberated mentally by the fucking CIA. And then, you know what I mean? They were just like, we want to use this to interrogate people.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you've got Jimi Hendrix. And they're like, well, we didn't expect that.
Oh my God! And then there's also all these theories about the CIA creating like the whole Laurel Canyon scene, the rock and roll scene,
Yeah.
and it's very compelling. It's
Very
really interesting.
compelling.
It seems like they were involved. I think they've always been involved in the music business, just like they've always been involved in the movie business. Like it makes sense. The idea that the music business somehow escaped their grasp, Like, shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
Shut the fuck
No,
up.
it
That's
didn't.
crazy. Because, like, who you promote, that's the person that becomes famous. And we've all seen that with, like, there's been, Milli Vanilli and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't make any sense. Like, why are they promoting this? Because, like, they had a product. They're trying to push this product.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of money behind that and also a lot of influence, cultural influence. And when they went through all that Vietnam shit with the Beatles and... You remember that?
Yeah.
They were like, hey, enough of this Lennon nonsense.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Shut the fuck up. You're making it hard for us to sell heroin.
Yeah.
We're over there scooping up heroin
Yeah.
in the South Pacific, and you're fucking ruining everything.
Imagine all the people. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, all I know is, like, it's like, it's a very confusing thing. If you want to be honest, if you love psychedelics, you owe a thank you to the fucking CIA.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like because I mean I don't know for sure. Like, I don't know for sure if the 60s as we understand them would have happened. I don't think the CIA was like, hey, let's create a lot of flower children and make people like revalue life and realize that money maybe isn't actually like something you should die for and like go against war. But I think like, boom, wow, that's what happened. I mean, and we got the Unabomber too.
Yeah, we got a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that came out of that. Here's a question. I want you to imagine a world where the sweeping Psychedelics Act of 1970 never gets installed. It never happens.
Yeah.
Somehow or another, either they just don't think it's a priority, or it's a different administration. They're not interested in locking down drugs. And,
Yeah.
Because one of the motivations for that in the 1970s was that they were going to target civil rights activists and anti-war activists. That's one of the methods to do it, is to turn all these drugs that everybody was using into Schedule I drugs.
Yes.
All these drugs that made people question society, all these drugs that made people want to tune in, turn on, drop out. All those drugs, they were like, we got to put a fucking kibosh on all these culture-shifting drugs. And the wild thing is they fucking did it. That's the wild thing. And that the brainwashing still works today. The brainwashing that they did on these compounds that might be the root of all religious experiences.
Yeah.
All these things that you're hearing about in the Bhagavad Gita, all these things you're hearing about in the Bible, these wild-ass crazy stories, like what really happened, those people might have had a psychedelic experience. And in fact, the thing about that, the University in Jerusalem that attributes the story of Moses and the burning bush to dimethyltryptamine.
Yeah.
Because they think it might be an acacia bush.
Right.
And they think, or one of these bushes that's really rich in DMT. It makes sense.
Sure.
Burning bush, like you smoke it, duh.
Yeah.
Like, it's right there in front of your face.
Right.
And if you take that, and especially if you take that 5,000 years ago, oh my God, of course, you're going to be convinced you're talking to God.
Yeah.
God talked to me.
Yeah.
It really did happen, brothers and sisters. And you tell this story. This is what God told us. This is what we need to do. We need to love each other.
Sure.
We need to follow laws. He gave us laws, a series of laws. Remember, who was it? Mel Brooks? I have brought you these 15. And he drops one of them. Shit. 10 commandments. You remember that?
It's fucking hilarious.
Classic. That's a classic.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, for sure, dude. I mean, like, and these, like, the consumption of these things has, up until recently, tended to be underground. Like, if you look at, like, what's it called? Kaikion. If you look at the, like, it has been weirdly an underground thing. And I think that's that if there is some cool thing that came from us coming up in the war on drugs.
Yeah.
It's like when I was taking LSD in high school and getting like an immediate reality check, which is like you're hearing about this as being like since you were a kid, you're going to go nuts. You're going to like become legally insane, whatever the fuck that means. And then you take it. And you're processing weird shit that happened in your childhood. You're loving yourself. You're looking at the world and seeing it like it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. You're hearing music that you've heard a million times for the first time. And you realize, oh, they're lying. This is wonderful. This isn't madness. And if it is madness, then this is the kind of crazy all of us need to go. Like, and so what, but you couldn't tell your parents. You wanted to. You wanted to be like, Mom, I think this might help you. But you couldn't because you'd be fucked.
Right.
So 5-year mandatory minimum, 5-year fucking mandatory minimum. They're locking people up. There's still people in jail right now for this fucking beautiful gift to humanity. And so we got to experience it from the underground perspective, which was mostly horrific. It produces paranoia. You were scared. You felt like a criminal for nothing. So yeah, man, like but if you look at the history, any substance like psilocybin, LSD, that breaks down the identity, that allows freedom from the sense of this is me and that's you, and produces at least the potential for merging with reality and with other people, it's not going to work for that fucking hierarchical system. For the hierarchical system to function, you need you're below me, you're above me, and the moment you're like we're all the same, then suddenly the caste system stops working. Classism stops working. The whole fucking thing falls apart, which is why I think that book you gave me, The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross, or you didn't give me it when I was living with you. I was a dick. I left it on the fucking floor. Like one of the reading materials you gave me during that wonderful time was this insane book about how Jesus and Christianity has its roots in psilocybin.
Yeah.
But like, if you, just for the sake of this rant, if you look at Jesus as psychedelics, it makes a lot of sense, because what Jesus is saying is you don't need a priest class to communicate with the divine. You can do it right now, anytime you want, any day you want. It's always here for you. That's exactly what the mushrooms tell you. And what happens to Jesus? They fucking kill him. And so it's like the relationship between centralized power and psychedelics has always been a contentious one.
Right.
Because the psychedelics just tell you, yeah, you're okay. That's one of the things they'll tell you. Maybe you need to fucking like walk your dogs more or whatever. But like ultimately you get this realization, I'm okay.
It's also the power structures that exist without psychedelics aren't possible if everyone's on psychedelics. And then you have ancient Greece. Right? So, like, how did ancient Greece emerge? It emerged because of the Kukion. It emerged because of the people doing these Eleusinian mysteries. They were learning things about themselves and the world, and they decided to, like, let's create democracy. I mean, that's really what it comes from. So that's what's scary. That's what's scary to people that are in power, and also the ignorance. We know that they haven't done it. Because if they've done it, they wouldn't be advocating against it. It doesn't make any sense. Unless they've only done it once and then they reverted. Or maybe a couple times. People do revert. One of the things that makes people revert is they get older and they get bitter.
Yeah. And
they haven't done psychedelics in a long, long time. And then they become like a shitty Republican when they get older. You know?
Well, you know, man, there's this Buddhist teacher I love, Sharon Salzberg. And one of her sayings I love is, the healing is in the return. Meaning, the way the waveform works is, especially with psychedelics, you get the glimpse of the divine, you forgive yourself, thus forgiving everyone around you, you experience true compassion, and then you come down, and then you crust up. You know what I mean? You crust the fuck up, and now you get crusty, and now you're like starting to get irritable again and angry again and fucked up, and like, and if you don't mitigate that in some way by like, what is it Bill Hicks says? Squeegeeing your fucking third eye. If you don't like do a nice squeegee here and there, then you do end up crusted over. You do end up like looking back at those ideas you had and saying to yourself, that was highly unrealistic. What the fuck was I thinking? But you know, that's the thing. It's always, this is my problem with psychedelics. My problem with psychedelics is obviously it's a chemical, but what can happen is psychedelics, you become the priest class. So you take the psychedelic and you think, I'm experiencing this because of the thing, when the reality is the thing is showing you what's in you. It's always there, right? And so the healing is in the return is the moment you realize like, oh, fuck, it's still here. It never went anywhere.
Right.
And so those crusty ass fucking Republicans, whoever they may be, like just under the fucking surface is that unitive consciousness, if you ask me.
Yeah, they're just cowards. If you're that way, if you're authoritarian, whether you're authoritarian left or authoritarian right, generally speaking, unless you're talking about crime and even then, you're scared, right? Because really, you should be addressing the root of the problem, which is like why do so many people from so many very distinct areas keep going into crime, and why is there nothing being done to stop that? But those people that are authoritarian, like in terms of like religious beliefs and in terms of behavior, the way people dress, gays in public, that kind of stuff, those people are all scared. That comes from a place of being scared.
Yep.
The gay people in public is not a problem. Assholes in public is a problem. And if the gay people are nice, you have a great time. If the gay people are assholes, just like if the straight people are assholes, you have a shitty time. It's not a gay straight thing. It's a human being kind and normal and friendly to people thing. And that's possible with everybody, but people think that, oh, those are the ones that are going to be mean to me and fuck them and they're responsible. No, those are individual human beings, and you're grouping them together because you're scared. You can call it pattern recognition. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it racism. You can call it whatever you want. But all you're doing, you're lumping people in together because you're scared.
That's it.
And you should be aware of danger. But to be so scared that you want to control other people's behavior is like a bad sign. That's a bad sign. You know, if you want to tell people what language they can use, that's a bad sign.
Yes, sir.
That sounds religious too. If you want to tell people how they have to dress or what kind of music they listen to, like this has all been bad always from the beginning of time, whether it's coming from the left or the right, whether it's fucking the Al Gore shit that was in the Tipper Gore shit in the 1980s. That was coming from the left. So left-wing politicians are trying to censor rap music. That's the reason why you have those dummies. They created that warning explicit lyrics. That's all anybody wanted to buy.
Oh my God.
We didn't have the warning explicit lyrics. Kids didn't even want to buy those CDs. Get the fuck out of here with your G-rated rap.
Andrew Dice Clay.
Fucking high?
Remember Dice Clay had that on his fucking album. What?
Oh, Score.
Dude, what?
Score.
That boosted album sales. Man, I'll tell you
Through
this.
the roof. But the point is, it's the same thing, right? It's the same on the left as it is on the right. It's just authoritarians, and they're all scared.
You got it. This is so to answer your question, do I believe in Satan? I believe in fear. And fear and the devil are the fucking same thing. And it's like, this is, if you want to talk about what Satan is, it's the cloud of fear that lives inside the individual and then collectivizes in a fearful reaction. And how do frightened people react to things? Anger, violence, judgment. And so like, so what's the opposite of fear, man? Love. Love is the opposite of fear. And so this is, to me, like, this is the issue. It's not left, right. It's that if you are making decisions based on fear, more than likely, the result is going to create something that makes you more afraid. And if that's just how it works. It just fear leads to fucking fear.
It's in the ingredients.
It's in the fucking ingredients, dude. Yeah. So you just turn on the fucking light. I mean, Buddhism, this is when they talk about enlightenment. They talk about like if we're in a pitch black room, it could be scary. I don't know what's around me. There's weird sounds. What the fuck? You ever woken up in the middle of the night kind of bleary and something that's been in your room forever, you can't see it clearly because you're waking up and you're like, it's a person. Oh, it's my chair, right? So the example, this is why Satan in mythology is the deceiver, because it's not there. It's literally not fucking there. The moment you turn on the light, everything's fine. Except in this case, the light is love. The moment that you have the fucking guts to love the person that you're like, to really like cultivate love. Fuck, dude. No one's scary anymore. You with my kids. Anyone who has kids knows what I'm fucking talking about. they can do things that are insane, like to your house, to the walls, they say things to you that if any adult said it to you, you might never forgive them. You're going to think about it for a long fucking time, like your beard stinks or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you meet somebody like, dude, your fucking beard stinks. Honestly, I'll probably like you. But you know what I mean? Because we love our kids, instantly forgiven. You don't hold grudges
Well, it's not
against
just
them.
that. They don't know any better. They haven't learned social skills.
And this is why one of my favorite things Jesus said when he's being crucified, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. And that's what he fucking meant.
How much of that do you think is historically accurate? Like, how much of the Jesus story do you think is historically accurate when you hear about it?
No idea.
Do you-
Don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just love the story. I don't care.
I love the story, and I love a story about what happened, because you always have to filter through the very real understanding that we all have about the way human beings tell stories. It's hard to know what's bullshit because people just lie about stuff, and that's not a new thing.
Yeah.
So, but people also tell the truth about stuff. That's not a new thing either. People also write down very important things, and there are people that are virtuous, and there are people that are honest, and there are people that are authentic. They've always existed, right? And there's people that are smart enough to understand the value of just being truthful,
Yes.
right? So those people that encountered something exceptional and crazy, something insane, whether it is the resurrection or whatever it was, like
Yeah.
I would love to know what the fuck they really said. Like what were the actual words? Why did you write it down? What really happened? How many people were told this story back and forth over hundreds of years before you wrote it down?
Yeah.
What was the original story like?
Right.
We don't. It's so hard. It's like trying to get a story about the things that George Washington said that weren't written down.
Yeah.
That weren't written down. Like
Right.
300 years ago. What? How?
Well, so in the same way, fear produces other forms of writing, like Mein Kampf. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, it's cymatics. You take a vibration, you throw some fucking flour on a vibrating plate. According to whatever the frequency is, it forms a certain. It creates a pattern, right? So
Yeah.
like fear always creates a pretty similar pattern, right?
Right.
And love also creates a very similar pattern. So like this is the book of John, my favorite book in the Gospels. It starts off with, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word became a person. And so, but that's not really what it's saying. It's like, it's logos. So in the beginning was some fundamental reality, just truth, just basic, beautiful, fucking perfect truth. And that's what the universe sprang from. And then that truth became a person, so the truth could now talk. It now began to convey itself to other people, and so that truth, I think, if you understood it enough, you could probably create a set of symbols that would function on many levels that were all good. One level, just basic ethics, do unto others what you would have them do unto you. Blessed are the peacemakers, all of this stuff, right? But then, knowing human psyche and the human mind, you could also hide deeper levels of that truth into parables, into like stories that are mathematically perfect, to the point where the crucifixion, if you look at it from the perspective of two intersecting timelines, which is the infinite and the finite meeting, which is what humans are, then you realize we're all being crucified on time. And then the crucifixion becomes like a existential reality. This is what, you want to know why you're feeling fucked up? It's because part of you is forever and part of you is going to die. And you are fucking hanging on a cross between two thieves, the past and the fucking future. And anytime you're thinking about that, it's stealing the moment. And so like then there's that level, right? And so any of these great texts like the New Testament, they're coded so that depending on where you want to go with it, you can go as deep as you want. It's an infinite rabbit hole. And I think that rabbit hole emerged from vibration. I sound like, what's his face? The guy, I loved him. I'm the Terrence
Howard?
Like idiot Terrence Howard. But I sound like dumb Terrence. I know he was talking about vibrations and stuff. He's great. But like, my point is, if there is some fundamental vibration to love then that might grow into time in a story. And the story, because it's coming from perfect truth, would have infinite levels to it. That it was alive. The story itself would be alive, which is why they call the Bible like the living word. It's alive. It's talking to you. It's not a one-way communication. It's like, that's what's scary about it. Dude, read the fucking Bible on mushrooms. Dude, you know what I mean? Like,
that's probably how it was written. I wish I could read like the ancient versions in the language and understand the language and the context.
Me too.
Because it's not just about learning the language. It would be about understanding the context of the language. Like, imagine if you could really understand ancient Hebrew where the letters double as numbers.
Dude.
Like, that must be so weird.
Yeah, man. And like, that's real. That's the other thing about it is like the historic Jesus and all that. God, that shit. Like, okay, I don't know, but look at the thing itself.
Right. Look what it said. Whatever this idea spawned. Look what it means. Like, look at all the powerful principles that emerge from it, and then I'll look at like the moral scaffolding that it provides for people.
Yeah, and then like I think the reason like people get creeped out by it is because where there's one thing, its opposite must appear, right? So here's this thing, that is dissolving power structures and dissolving the priest class and dissolving like all of it. And then you look at like the modern day versions of it and you see the same fucking hierarchy. You see this thing that it seems to be antithetical to, which is like saying like, this is between you and me.
Right.
Like suddenly there's people telling you you're wrong, interpreting it for you, and you look at that and you're like, fuck that shit. Whatever that is, I'm not in.
And it's charismatic people in front of large groups of people that really know how to manipulate people with the way they talk.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing that was so problematic when they first started translating the Bible into phonetic languages, into languages like German. And when people started, like during the Martin Luther days, they're like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? It used to be the priests how to read the Bible because they could read it in Latin. You don't know Latin, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
This is what God wants you to do. Do it.
Yeah.
And then Martin Luther's coming along and said, you should interpret this your own way.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what? So they take away the gatekeepers to God.
That's it.
But when you have, it's so crazy that it's such an efficient business that they still run these fucking franchises, even though the book is available everywhere. It's so crazy that like this one person interprets this better than everybody else. So you go and see him and he talks, and then they develop egos and they have jets and they have fucking mansions and Rolls Royces. It's so crazy that works. It's crazy that works when that book is available for everybody and should be interpreted. I mean, you should understand what it means. You shouldn't interpret it ignorantly, right?
Right.
But if you're wise enough to be able to capture what they're trying to say, just capture in your mind what they're trying to say and translate it into a thing that makes sense. You're like, what were they talking about?
Yeah.
What happened? Is this a map of how the universe was created? In the beginning, there was light. Is that a map? Or is that life itself? Like, what is that?
What is it?
What is that?
And to me, that's like, like the Bhagavad Gita, any of these beautiful texts. That's what's fun about them is that it's producing a kind of like bizarre riddle in your own mind as you're trying to decode it.
Right.
But then there's a pull. The more you study it, the more you get drawn in. And when you start getting really drawn in, that's when people start appearing around you that help in a non-nefarious way. That like you just start meeting people who help you understand it a little bit more, and that's where it gets fucking weird.
Simulation.
Yes, dude. You're like, the simulation is fucking real. And by the way, now that we've talked about the Bible, can I talk about my new favorite book?
Yes.
Dianetics. Have you heard of this book?
Yes. I heard if you're really good at it, they put you on a boat, an org. And,
it's an org.
You get to be a part of an org, a sea org.
A sea org.
And you get a jacket with like some medals.
Fuck, dude, it's I've said on this podcast a million times, my favorite Mark Twain quote: religion is what happened when the first con man met the first fool. And dude, like that's the problem with all this stuff is like, this is...
The problem is there's too many versions, right? So someone's wrong.
No, the problem is people don't trust their fucking instincts, and it's like drive all blames into oneself. It's like this is nothing that I am seeing in the New Testament seems to be inviting you to throw your rational mind away. It's the whole fucking thing is crazy. It's crazy, but it's like the invitation is to like. God gave you a rational fucking mind if there is a God, and like anyone telling you to discard that and forego your interpretation for theirs.
Yeah.
Dude, watch the fuck out. This is your job. Like, just like whatever the fucking thing is, whether it's the Bible, Reddit conspiracy, fucking 4chan, whatever the fucking thing is, what are you afraid of? Like, how do you not trust your mind? How weak are you? Are you really afraid to like take data in? Do you think you're going to be corrupted by data?
Well, isn't it also an identity thing? Because if you identify as the person that gets to talk in front of everybody, you're the priest.
Right.
Yeah, that's your identity, and you're not going
Right.
to give that up because then you're just another person who reads the Bible.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Well, then Mike can go up too. Tomorrow, Mike's going to go up. Mike's been trying at home,
Yeah.
practicing in front of the mirror, and he thinks he's ready to be a priest. So
Yeah.
why don't you let Mike try it tomorrow night? And
nah.
then Debbie's been reading a lot too, and Debbie'd like to try Tuesday. And this guy's used to getting his jollies off 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
Telling people about blasphemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, especially if you're like one of them tent revival guys, those wild dudes like Kinnison used to be,
Yeah.
just con artists that are also saying biblical quotes, but they're manipulating people. They're really good at talking. They're hypnotizing people with their words, just like you hypnotize a comedy audience.
Dude, this is why I listen to Christian radio, man, because like
Why don't you look at
as a comic,
Jesus?
listening to sermons and recognizing like that's a joke. Like he's done that a lot. Like that's one of his gags. Like I know
That's a
I know-
bit.
That's a bit. I know what
Yeah.
that is. That's a fucking
Yeah.
bit. But again, it's like the comment section. This is not an example of humanity. It's an example of fucking people with toxoplasmosis who are you know what I mean? You motherfucker. Well,
But isn't it also just an example of you're not going to have everyone be the same. You're going to have people that they never learned things well. Like look, if I got hired to be a part of some mathematical study,
yeah.
I'm useless. Okay, I'm not that guy,
Yeah.
right? I fucked up that part of my life. I never
Right.
really learned that. Didn't
Right.
pay attention.
Same.
I'm not interested. So that's not me. But someone out there is,
Right.
And to have those two things exist simultaneously,
Yeah.
you're going to have an infinite variety of possibilities for human beings. So that's
Yeah.
part of the problem.
Yep.
Part of the problem is some people are just out of their fucking minds.
Yep.
And if those people out of their fucking minds get special rights, like the tax-free exempt status because they're a pastor,
Yeah.
and they're a fucking psychopath who's just really good at conning people,
Yeah.
and they're running this organization, there might be a guy right down the street that's a real Christian. There might be a guy right down the street that's a really kind person
Yeah.
who's really reading the word of Christ, and he does it not for profit.
Yeah.
And he does it to try to like establish the love of God in his community,
Yeah.
and he takes these people in like their family, and there's this beautiful community aspect to it where everybody's like kind to each other. There's
Yeah.
beautiful things to church.
Right.
That's true too. But the problem is humans. Just like the problem with our ability to other each other, just like our problem with the ability to attack people on the other side of the political spectrum
Yeah.
who live in the same fucking city as you.
Yeah.
Like people are fucking rabid against other people in their town that want to vote for this guy
Yeah.
that wants to do this, and this guy wants to do that, and fuck you, you commie.
Yeah.
And everyone's going crazy.
Dude, I know.
It's just a human thing. It's a tribal thing. We are not yet cooked. We are a
not.
fucking soft-boiled egg, baby. And we're runny. We're some eggs you get at the diner where you go, oh, you see that fucking gelatin. That's us. That's us. We're
us.
not all the way cooked.
Yeah.
And when you eat things that aren't all the way cooked, you got a lot of fucking problems.
You're going to get sick.
Yeah, but we're getting cooked, buddy. We're getting microwaved. We're
Yeah.
going to get AI microwaved in about 3 years.
That's right, baby. The fucking AI Messiah is coming, baby.
We are going to do a podcast, you and I, before this thing is done, before civilization slides into the ocean again. You and I are going to do a podcast where we communicate with everyone with no words.
I know.
It's going to happen. You're going to do it. I'm going to do it. We're going to be talking to each other with no words, and we're going to be talking to everyone else out there with no words too. We're all going to be synced up. It's just going to be a sea of ideas, exposing each other to other ideas and like considering other ideas with no attachment at all to your ego. It's going to be super weird.
And then you know what's going to happen?
Aliens land.
No, we're going to look around and be like, wait, this doesn't look like the Rogan studio. This is just like some weird fucking room. And then a CIA agent is going to come in and be like, thank you so much for participating in the experiment.
And Trump will be on his 4th term.
No, it'll be the 60s. And we'll realize we're in a